In a nutshell, the main reaction we get when people get to actually walk through our model homes is, wow. They sort of come in with a preconceived notion. Oftentimes we'll have one member of a spouse maybe stay in the car because they're adamant that they don't want a trailer. Once they actually take the time to come in and educate themselves on the construction and the energy efficiency, and then actually get to walk through and see the beauty and the workmanship in our homes, they have a complete 360 change of heart.
Today's mini home is a completely different home than something that was built even 20 years ago, let alone even 10 years ago.
A lot of the conversations revolve around the construction standards and how many homes today are built to the same National Building Code standard as any other house in Canada, that you can mortgage them over 25 years. So if the most conservative people, the bankers, feel that that value will still be there at the end of a 25-year amortization, that gives a lot of peace of mind to our home buyers, knowing that the homes will appreciate.
A buying experience usually starts with a customer wherever they're living today realizing something's not right here. I need to make a change. And then that's quickly followed by fear. Well, how am I going to do it? Can I do it? Am I going to get turned down? I can't afford anything. They're going to laugh at me if I walk into somebody's place to buy a house.
That's been our slogan since Havel's been his inception back in 1953, why pay rent when you can own for less? So nowadays, especially here in the Halifax Regional Municipality, apartment rents are quite expensive. So a lot of people are intimidated to even look into housing options because they think, my goodness, if I'm spending $1,600 a month in rent, I can't imagine what a mortgage payment would be. So a lot of times they're really pleasantly surprised when they actually take the time to come in and sit down with us and get some information and realize that they could own a home for half of that and start investing into their own equity and start building and towards their own investment portfolio rather than paying off a landlord's mortgage payment.
What I like is taking a customer that sooner or later they think, well, I've got to go in and talk to somebody. They walk in the door and we take the time to reassure them that we're here to help you. We're going to help guide you through this process.
We can help them secure a mortgage pre-approval. We can go over all those numbers and see what's comfortable for them. If it's a matter of sort of helping them figure out a way to save up for a down payment, we've got different ways of doing that as well. And a lot of times home buyers are really excited to know that there's a lot of incentives available for first-time home buyers or for new construction as well. So we're seeing a large growth in the market for downsizers. A lot of the baby boomers now that have children that maybe have moved out and are left with these great big homes that are just too much to maintain, and they're coming in and they're seasoned homeowners. So it's a different kettle of fish altogether, working with someone who's had 3 or 4 homes. They know exactly what they want, and having features like the 36-inch doors, interior and exterior, and having these really high-end finishes inside and out, and having a home that they can be proud of just as much as that first-time home buyer.
Some of our clients, they want to live on their own land. Maybe they have a family homestead or something that they get a piece of that they want to locate on. We're more than happy to do that for them. The majority of our clients, they come here and they don't really know where they're going to live. When people move into an existing community that's on a bus route, close to the retail centers, closer to work like Burnside or Bayers Lake, the resales and the sale times tend to be they sold for more money and quicker sale times because they're in more convenient locations. So my dad's philosophy, early philosophy, is to keep it simple for our clients. We take the time to find out which homes are selling the most and why.
66 years of being in business has taught us a thing or two, and I sort of equate it to kind of like a snowball effect. Every time we sell a home, we learn something new.
Rather than asking a person who has maybe never designed a house in their life to design a house all of a sudden, there's a lot of chance that things are going to go wrong. On the other hand, if we have a home that's set up on location, that they can walk in and say, yeah, I like this. I like how my furniture can fit in here. They can visually move themselves in, and then when they take delivery, there are no surprises. In the end, we have a happier customer. Part of the privilege of owning Havel's, what it has been for me is the day that they get the keys and they walk into their own home. It's their home for the first time. They own their home. This dream has come to reality. That's another big wow factor for me.
In a nutshell, the main reaction we get when people get to actually walk through our model homes is, wow. They sort of come in with a preconceived notion. Oftentimes we'll have one member of a spouse maybe stay in the car because they're adamant that they don't want a trailer. Once they actually take the time to come in and educate themselves on the construction and the energy efficiency, and then actually get to walk through and see the beauty and the workmanship in our homes, they have a complete 360 change of heart.
Today's mini home is a completely different home than something that was built even 20 years ago, let alone even 10 years ago.
A lot of the conversations revolve around the construction standards and how many homes today are built to the same National Building Code standard as any other house in Canada, that you can mortgage them over 25 years. So if the most conservative people, the bankers, feel that that value will still be there at the end of a 25-year amortization, that gives a lot of peace of mind to our home buyers, knowing that the homes will appreciate.
A buying experience usually starts with a customer wherever they're living today realizing something's not right here. I need to make a change. And then that's quickly followed by fear. Well, how am I going to do it? Can I do it? Am I going to get turned down? I can't afford anything. They're going to laugh at me if I walk into somebody's place to buy a house.
That's been our slogan since Havel's been his inception back in 1953, why pay rent when you can own for less? So nowadays, especially here in the Halifax Regional Municipality, apartment rents are quite expensive. So a lot of people are intimidated to even look into housing options because they think, my goodness, if I'm spending $1,600 a month in rent, I can't imagine what a mortgage payment would be. So a lot of times they're really pleasantly surprised when they actually take the time to come in and sit down with us and get some information and realize that they could own a home for half of that and start investing into their own equity and start building in towards their own investment portfolio rather than paying off a landlord's mortgage payment.
What I like is taking a customer that sooner or later they think, well, I've got to go in and talk to somebody. They walk in the door and we take the time to reassure them that we're here to help you. We're going to help guide you through this process.
We can help them secure a mortgage pre-approval. We can go over all those numbers and see what's comfortable for them. If it's a matter of sort of helping them figure out a way to save up for a down payment, we've got different ways of doing that as well. And a lot of times home buyers are really excited to know that there's a lot of incentives available for first-time home buyers or for new construction as well. So we're seeing a large growth in the market for downsizers. A lot of the baby boomers now that have children that maybe have moved out and are left with these great big homes that are just too much to maintain, and they're coming in and they're seasoned homeowners. So it's a different kettle of fish altogether, working with someone who's had 3 or 4 homes. They know exactly what they want, and having features like the 36-inch doors, interior and exterior, and having these really high-end finishes inside and out, and having a home that they can be proud of just as much as that first-time home buyer.
Some of our clients, they want to live on their own land. Maybe they have a family homestead or something that they get a piece of that they want to locate on. We're more than happy to do that for them. The majority of our clients, they come here and they don't really know where they're going to live. When people move into an existing community that's on a bus route, close to the retail centers, closer to work like Burnside or Bayers Lake, the resales and the sale times tend to be they sold for more money and quicker sale times because they're in more.
Welcome back to our pregame show of this afternoon's preseason game.
We installed the window. Before we put it on, we put silicone on the 2 sides and the top, and we nailed the window on it. And this part here, it's like a flashing. When the water runs down, it won't catch behind the window. And we do the top part the last. We put a piece of tape on top. It makes like a gutter, so it seals that part all the way across the window, so there's no water go behind the window. If it goes behind the window, your sheeting's gonna get all wet and it's gonna get mold probably in the future. So this way it's supposed to stay dry. So the house will last longer. We installed the window. Before we put it on, we put silicone on the two sides and the top, and we nailed the window on it. And this part here, it's like a flashing. When the water runs down, it won't catch behind the window. And we do the top part the last. We put a piece of tape on top. It makes like a gutter, so it seals that part all the way across the window, so there's no water go behind the window. If it goes behind the window, your sheeting's gonna get all wet and it's gonna get mold probably in the future. So this way it's supposed to stay dry, so the house will last longer.
You want me to say that?
What'd you say?
Lights, camera, action.
There you go. There you go.
Hi, my name is Eric Baudouin, owner of Citadel Homes in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Us, when people come in, we don't expect them to come in and buy a house today. It's pretty much impossible. I don't think it ever happened in my life. We're more there to listen to what they want, what they like. A lot of time in the fairly early stages, customer will say, well, how much is this house? How much is that house? And it's hard to give them a fixed price until you know exactly, well, what type of flooring you're going to put in, what type of countertops, and all these things. With the 3-key system, we can give them a range and say, okay, well, based on if you want to be at the lower end of this price, you're going to be at the 1-key system. If you want to be at the higher end, you're going to go to the 3-key. And the nice thing about the 3-key system too is that there is no cheap options. A lot of times we'll do a 3D plan, so we get customers to walk into a virtual tour of their house on the design, so they can literally get a good feel for how much space they're going to have in the bedroom, how the ensuite is going to look. If they give us information prior to their visit on what the size of their bed or their vanities or things like that, we can literally incorporate that in the plan so that when they come in, they can get a good idea and perception of how the house looks like. We can move the wall live in front of them, so if they want an extra foot, we can make that happen. Everybody's always really happy to get a chance to get a kind of sneak peek before it's actually built. Once you get a price, once we choose all of our options, we got to do all our homework. The price is the price, it's fixed. There is no overruns that's going to happen after that. You know exactly where you stand. A lot of people seem to think that they're restricted. They have to pick from a plan, see what's there is what's available, and that's pretty much it. They don't realize that we're a custom builder. Whatever a site builder could do, we can do just about the same thing. Building in a factory environment, some of the big advantage obviously is that you're not exposed to the weather. So your floor, there's going to be no rain on your floor or your structure while it's being built. We have customers from every group of age, and we have customers that we might never meet until we give them the keys. We had a customer this summer from out west. His first name was Jerry, and so Jerry came to me and approached me online, and we really hit it off. We knew he wanted a cottage. He knew when he wanted to move in. He had a rough idea of, or a good idea in his head of how it was gonna look. He wanted the rustic look. He wanted certain features. I knew I could hit 2 out of 3 targets, I guess. I knew we could do what he wanted within budget. I knew we could do on time within budget, but I didn't know if we could do all 3, because until you have that plan design, you don't know how much time it's going to take to get there. Ken Holmes stepped up to the plate, made a bit of time. All our contractors worked together. As we were getting really close to the move-in date, Jerry was calling me, Eric, like, I'm booking my flight, are you sure? And I was like, Jerry, book the flight. And when he came in, we met for the first time today, I gave him his keys. And to see his face when he pulled in the driveway, that was the ultimate right there, because you could tell it was exactly what he had hoped for.
It doesn't matter if you want to send me 100 emails with 1 question each or 1 email with 100 questions. My name's Sean Chappell. I am the sales manager in Fredericton, New Brunswick. We service all of Greater Fredericton. We service Greater St. John area, all the way up to Grand Falls. I don't consider our office a sales office. We're trusted advisors. So when you first pop in, we have a basic conversation. We see where you're at in the process. We'll get you in touch with a bank to go through your options. We'll show you through our model homes, go through basic plans, land location, and we can literally take you from the very start to the very end. We can jump in the middle depending where you're at. The biggest thing I think the customers are surprised about are how easily our designs are customizable and that they can bring in their own plans. Here's a concept, make it yours though, right? Another thing that they're very surprised about is our timeline. From the time that you place an order to the time that you have a key, 3 or 4 months you're in your house. The customer came in, and a great story overall. They went to 3 different modular companies, and all 3 of them told them, no, you can't do what you want with your budget. We took a different approach. They told us that up front. They said, let's see what we can do for you. The customer really appreciated that because it wasn't a no, it was, here's what we can do for you. Never assuming that you're ready to buy. That's never the assumption when you walk in with us. How can we help you? What do you want? What are you looking for? Right? So is it a 3-bedroom, 2-bath? Is it an open concept? Do you need a mudroom? Is an attached garage an absolute must? With our interactive 3-key system, 1 key, that's, if you don't make a selection outside the 1 key, there's no price overrun. 2 key, you're gonna, it's a little bit more. 3 key, we're getting into some potential special pricing items. Figuring out the floor plan and the size that they need that's gonna make them happy, the selections is the easy part after that to control budget. When you're looking at new construction as opposed to what's on the market right now, for the most part, you're getting exactly what you want. When you're buying on the market, you're almost settling. You don't know what you're buying in some circumstances. Those reno costs that come into it sometimes are going to exceed what you would have done for a new home. With us, once we give you a price, that's it. That's your price. Nothing changes from the time that you place that order into the end of the project. It doesn't matter if you want to send me 100 emails with 1 question each or 1 email with 100 questions. That's what I'm here for, is to make sure that you're comfortable, you know exactly what's going on, and you understand the process.
And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Avenir Center in downtown Moncton, where today it's preseason action between the Moncton Wildcats and the Cape Breton Eagles. This is the second of 2 preseason games between these 2 teams. The Wildcats won the other matchup back on September 5th. That was a 4-1 victory for Moncton at Center 200. Wildcats were 6-2-1 against the Eagles a year ago, including the final game before the season was stopped back in March. On March 11th, that was a 3-0 victory here at Avenir Center. Tim Roselle, very pleased to be joining you this afternoon. Well, the Wildcats enter play in the preseason with a record of 3-0. They've been perfect so far. They got that 4-1 win in their last game of the preseason back on the 5th of September in Cape Breton. Gabriel Bernier, Jordan Spence, Johan Losching, and Philip Daou had the goals for the Wildcats. The roster is starting to come together. The Wildcats now, including their import players, and Gabriel Fortier, who is not officially on the roster as of yet. Including all those guys, the Wildcats are down to 27 players right now. That includes 3 goaltenders, 8 defensemen, and 16 forwards. The import players, Maxim Barbashev and Val Yusnik, not in camp as of yet. The QMJHL as a whole is trying to work with the Canadian government in order to be able to allow all the import players to come over and play for the various teams in the Canadian Hockey League this season. As I mentioned a moment ago, Gabriel Fortier is now in town, but he is in his 14-day quarantine right now, so he has not joined camp as of yet. So without those guys, it's a 24-man group for the Wildcats right now. Dakota Lund-Cornish, the veteran, and the rookie Nicholas Sheehan will man the nets for now for the Wildcats. The team will be very young up front. Jacob Hudson and Philip Daou are among just the few veterans dressed today. Jacob Stewart as well. Youngsters like Johan Losching, Mathis Cloutier, Dominic LeBlanc, among others, they will be relied upon for offense not only today but throughout the year as well for the Wildcats. The Eagles are 0-3 so far in the preseason. Remember last year they finished the year with 40 wins, 83 points. They were second in the Maritimes division and third in the Eastern Conference. They were one of those teams that loaded up for a playoff run that ultimately did not happen. This team has some veterans, 14 of them in fact, played for the Eagles last year on a regular basis. They added a couple more veteran players in trades as well. No more Igor Sokolov, though. Sean Boudriak gone. Tyler Heineman, Derek Gentile also not on the team anymore, but they still have some solid players offensively like Sean Element and Ryan Francis to anchor their top line. Well, when we come back, we're going to have my conversation with Dan Lacroix, the head coach of the Moncton Wildcats. We'll get his thoughts on training camp so far and how things look for the Wildcats moving toward the start of the regular season. Then we'll be ready to go with starting goaltenders, starting lineups, and puck drop. We're live at Avenir Center. It's the Wildcats and Eagles coming up in preseason action. You are watching live coverage of 2020 Kent Holmes Moncton Wildcats preseason action. In between the Moncton Wildcats and Cape Breton Eagles, very pleased to be joined by the head coach of the Moncton Wildcats, Dan Lacroix. Dan, you're about 3 weeks now into this pandemic-shortened training camp for the Moncton Wildcats. What's it been like so far?
It's been good. You know, I thought even with smaller numbers, everybody came prepared and ready to play. I think that it's been a very highly competitive camp. A lot of open spots on our squad and strong competition for these spots.
Yeah, the highly competitive aspect, certainly something that you would expect with so many open spots on the team. What has it been like watching that competition, watching those guys crave and hunger for those open spaces?
It's been good. It's been fun. It's also been hard. You know, you try to evaluate guys and not a lot of exhibition games to do so, and some of the guys being in quarantine for 2 weeks and then having to skate and go from 0 to 100 in a couple of days, it makes it pretty tough. But I thought the players have responded really well. I like the enthusiasm they've shown. We've got some really good surprises in camp. You know, guys that are playing well, guys that we might not have expected, and guys are battling for spots.
We'll talk maybe a few about a few of those guys in just a second, but let's talk about the veterans that are back. There aren't many guys that were from last year's team or teams before that are back with this club. But what have they meant to your team so far here in camp, and what are they going to mean to this team this year?
Well, especially with the smaller numbers of veterans, I think it's important. You know, we want to make sure that the culture stays alive, and it leads with us as a coaching staff, but really in the dressing room, that's where the next meeting is going to take part once we leave, and having Hudson and DJ and Phil Daou and strong leadership with guys like that and the Stewarts, and those are guys that we can count on, and that we know that they've been around, they know how we operate, and they can certainly help the young guys with their transition.
And I know those guys would never have been through a training camp like this either, but is it important to have those guys around for the younger players that are coming in maybe to their first major junior camp, or at least in this type of environment?
Yeah, very much so. I think communication has been real good, between us and the veteran group, and also they've had a lot of time to spend together, whether the guys that were in quarantine together develop a bond, somewhat of a bond, even though they're in different hotel rooms, but they've they can certainly feel for each other. They went through the same thing, the same 2 weeks, and then I think we've had a lot of time to spend together, whether it's at the rink for training camp, on the ice, and then just having full weeks of practice with not a lot of games. You get to know each other in a pretty quick time frame.
So you're getting your numbers down fairly close to what you'll have for the start of the season. The import players obviously are not here yet, and Gabriel Forche is in quarantine right now, potentially preparing to join the team, but all of that still in question. So you're at numbers with 27 guys, including those players right now. Can you characterize what type of a team you've got at this moment based on what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I think, from what we've seen so far, like our guys, we've got a talented group of guys. Like we've got good skills, and we know we need skills in order to succeed. We need speed, which we have. We've got a lot of pretty speedy team, and we've got a smart team. Like guys, we've got guys that can make plays. Guys that can, show their skills, and you also have guys that are committed and ready to, take a hit to make a play and battle for pucks. So obviously those are all key ingredients that we need. We're going to come down to numbers again. We're going to have to shave down. That's why we're still in evaluation mode.
I want to ask you about Johan Loshing, the Wildcats' first-round pick this summer. You didn't have a first-rounder going into the draft, but the big Jacob Pelche move helped facilitate selecting Johan Loshing at number 13 overall in the Q draft. You've had a chance to see him now in a couple of exhibition games. What have you seen?
Well, I saw a lot of speed. He's a kid that, it's funny because in practice he watches and he's a sponge. He takes it all in, and then once you drop the puck and play the game, he's at his best. And him using his speed, very smart, very tough to check, and very competes hard for pucks. He's not the biggest guy on the ice, but he doesn't shy away from confrontation. He'll go in for pucks, and he plays. He's pretty opportunistic. So when he gets chances, he tends to bury them.
Now, without putting any additional pressure on the young man, what do you think his learning curve is going to be like? Some guys come into the league and they just roll right in and they're able to put up numbers and fit in and become a QMJHL regular and contributor right away. Other guys seem to struggle a little bit. What do you think for Johan? What do you see for him?
Well, I think he's very comfortable in a hockey environment. I think he's a kid that left home last year to go play in Toronto. His English wasn't great. He's worked at it. He continues to work at it. He wants it pretty bad, and he's at his best when we put the bucket of pucks on the ice and let him skate. So I think the curve is going to be pretty steep in his case. He's a kid that he takes it all in. He loves instant feedback, and I only see bright things in his future.
Can you give me an example of a player who's improved in your eyes, even in the short period that they've been here?
Well, that'd be tough to single one guy out. I think we've got a lot of young Ds and a group of young D that have equally, progressed in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I'd say the same we got some good wingers and centers, like all our forwards that have come in and from different parts of Canada and Quebec and Maritimes and with different background last year, and I think overall they responded real well against some of their peers. That meaning other rookies, and in 3 games that were mainly composed of first-year guys. So now the real test will start now with teams having a lot less players and dressing more veterans.
Just before we wrap up here, Dan, I want to ask you about your goaltending. With Val Usnik not here yet, you've got Dakota Lund Cornish and Nicholas Sheehan, who are going to man the crease for the Wildcats to start. What have you seen from those guys that that make you feel like they're ready to be the 2 guys at the moment?
Yeah, they really. Both of them have competed really, really hard. I think Dakota showed up in real top shape, and he's been hungry and has been good from the get-go, and same with Sheehan. Sheehan came one of the top athletes in camp from his conditioning, and he's had some good outings so far, so we feel very comfortable with both of them.
Okay, a couple weeks left before the regular season begins, and as you mentioned, got to get those numbers down just a little bit more to get the final roster. What do you want to see in the next couple of weeks that helps you make those decisions?
Well, I want guys to bring what has taken them up to this level so far. They all have something to bring to the table. I want them to play free in their mind. I don't want to overcrowd their mind with X's and O's. I want them to play and showcase what they do best. And you know what? Ultimately, it's going to be they compete for spots on the team, and once the spots are secured, then they compete for ice time. So everybody's battling for something.
Dan, thanks for this. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back to our...
officials for this afternoon's game, les officiels du match de cet après-midi. Les referees nous arbitres Brad Mills and Nick Monson.
Starting lineups this afternoon for the Wildcats wearing red, skating right to left. It will be Jacob Hudson centering a line with Mathis Cloutier and Connor Richard. The defensemen are Sean Stewart and Jordan Spence. For the Eagles wearing white, they will counter with Ryan Francis, Sean Element, and Felix LaFrance up front. Nathan LaRose and Jarrett Baker, a couple of 20-year-olds on the back end. Starting goaltenders this afternoon for the Wildcats, it'll be 16-year-old Nicholas Sheehan. He's 1-0 in 3 preseason games so far this year. Played last year with the Moncton Flyers in the New Brunswick PEI Major Midget Hockey League. William Grimard in goal for the Eagles today. This is his first game of the preseason. Spent last year with the Eagles, 28 games played. He was 14-12-1 with a .364 goals against average and .895 save percentage. We're underway. The Eagles in the Moncton zone. That's LaFrance to the right point. Long shot, LaRose is deflected wide. Francis behind the net, whips it back to the line, snapshot. Baker, that's tipped wide side of the net. Down is Sheehan with that right leg jammed against the post. And he will hang on. LaFrance trying to dig that puck loose. He's got Jordan Spence making sure that he doesn't get too close to his goaltender. Referees for this afternoon's game, Brad Mills and Nick Melanson, the linesman Kevin Fisher, and Jack Fitzpatrick. Philip Daou takes the draw for Moncton, and he won it. Racing in behind his own goal, Connor Olson. Olson chips it up the left side. Emile Egerty-Aubin, one of the newcomers for the Eagles, knocked that one down. Olson around the net. Crunched there in the corner was Tristan DeYoung. He's able to play it up the right wing. Cleared to the line by Bernier, but not out. Behind the net, Olson with it again. Snaps it around near side. Jacob Squires moves up from the right point to keep it in. In the corner with it. That's Emile Egerty-Aubin. Knocked off the puck by Daou. It's cycled behind the net. Olson is there. He's got Bernier on the right wing. Now far to the left side, it's Daou. He'll dump it in around the net. Liam Kidney racing after it. He'll let it go. Egerty-Aubin played it to center. Daou lost it quickly. Kidney brings it in across the line. Stops, feeds the line. Squires snapshot, blocker save. Rebound batted high out of the air and grabbed now by Moncton. Daou will get it out to center ice. Shot down into the Eagle zone by Tyson Tomasini, making his Wildcats preseason debut here this afternoon. Ontario free agent invite. Logan Camp resets back inside his own line. Buteau, the rookie defenseman for the Eagles. Spun off stride in the corner. Connor Trenholm can't clear it out. Now bumped off the puck is Cole Fraser. Dumped in behind the net. Grimard is there for Cape Breton. Out of his own goal. Leaves for Buteau. Long feed up the right wing. Logan Camp will dump it softly into the Moncton zone. Francis Langlois reverses for Sean Stewart. Ahead on the left wing, and Casey will get it out. LaRose inside his own line for Baker. Now Camp has it left side of center. He's knocked off his feet by Langlois. Played back to the red line as the Eagles get some changes in. Nathan LaRose. Right wing side for Davis Cooper. Left it. Kidney got in across the line. Got knocked down by Sean Stewart. Jacob Stewart plays it around his own net. Fed off the boards by the defenseman Iasenza, and it's cleared out to center ice. Stewart now. For Richard, right wing side, shooting, that's deflected wide. Good chance there for Connor Richard. Kidney will get it out to center ice, trying to step inside on the Moncton defenseman was Davis Cooper, couldn't do it. Cloutier will roll it down side of the net, steered wide easily by Grimard. LaRose fights off the forechecking of Jacob Hudson. Got it ahead on the left side to center. There is Jordan Spence, the reigning QMJHL Defenseman of the Year. Ahead on the left side, Richard will dump it in behind the goal. Baker pokes it back around right wing side. LaFrance leaves for Francis. Breakaway pass. This is Sean Element in alone. Deking to the backhand, and he scores. Sean Element flew the zone after he saw that Ryan Francis had the puck and got in behind the Moncton defense. Francis found him, and Element dekes to his backhand and beats Nicholas Sheehan to give the Eagles an early 1-0 lead. Checking out the replay there. There is the move by Element to go to the backhand. And the former captain of the Acadie Bathurst, Teton, has the icebreaker in this one. 3:17 will be the time of the goal. Francis is going to get an assist. We'll wait and see who else gets on the board for the Eagles. Eagles will rely on Ryan Francis and Sean Element a lot for offense this year, as this one's dumped off the boards, down the ice, right on, and down is Sheehan to make the stop and hang on. Got a little bit of a snow shower from LaFrance as he did so. At the moment, it's Francis and Francis alone on the assist for that goal by Element at 3:17. Lucas Canning off the draw. Nearly lost it near the right point. Now it is poked out to center. Loshing can't get to it ahead of Logan Kelly-Murphy. Philip Daou resets. Right side, that's DeYoung dumping it down inside the Eagle zone. Played around on the right wing side for Cape Breton. Canning wants to regroup. Slips it behind his own goal. Here is second-year defenseman Logan Kelly-Murphy. Ahead at center off of Egerty Aubin. Now Loshing with it. Will dump it back into the Eagle zone. Germard out of the goal. Wrists it high around the glass. It bounces down for Egerty Aubin. It's in on the left wing. Teammates are changing. Now he cycles it down the wall. Kidney's cross-ice pass is deflected into the right corner. Canning grabs it for the Eagles. He's got a couple of Wildcats on him, including the defenseman Charles-Antoine Pilat. Finally, it does come loose for the other blue liner, Tristan DeYoung. Big hit by Buteau sends his man flying, and he's going to get a penalty for it. It was Vinny LaBelle that went for a major spill. Buteau heads to the Eagle bench to see if he could hide there, but he can't do it as LaBelle throws it in front. Extra attacker on the ice for Moncton right now in this delayed penalty. Mathis Cloutier left point. Right point now. Pilat shoots. That one's knocked down in front. And Canning touches up. It'll be an interference call coming up to Cape Breton blue liner Francois James Buteau. Wildcat power play hasn't been too bad in the preseason so far, 3 for 13. The Eagles have not scored a shorthanded goal so far in the preseason. Daou side of the net, that's tipped in on goal by Bernier and stopped. This is Spence now left point. Jordan Spence into the right circle, fed back to Spence at the line. Now left side, Daou passes in front, tipped in on goal, down is Germard, it's loose, they score! Mathis Cloutier, side of the net, gets the rebound after the initial tip by Bernier was denied. Bernier hacked and whacked at the loose puck and got it loose for Cloutier, and he knocks it home to tie the game. A power play goal for the Wildcats, and it's 1-1. Watch the replay here as Bernier parked right off the top of the crease, deflects that first chance on goal, and then Cloutier reaches in, actually just ahead of his teammate Johan Loshing, to knock that one home. But a good initial low shot from the point. And Cloutier there to bury the rebound. 5:24 is the time of the goal. Wildcats have it behind their own net now. It's whipped around left side by Iasenza, not out. Nathan LaRose down low right side. It went off Camp's stick around the goal. Langlois can't clear it out. Here's Logan Camp with it now. Camp drops it off in the corner for Cole Fraser. Fraser gets it back. Sharp angle shot right on. Nice stop by Sheehan, and another one. Now it's centered in front and batted away from the crease. Baker, right point. He's going to switch with LaRose here. LaRose takes the puck and shoots. That deflects off a leg in front wide. Now it's centered, and it pinballs off a couple of legs back to the line. LaRose onto the wall. That skipped over the stick of Connor Trenholm. Iasenza bumped his man in the corner. Chance now for Langlois to get it out. He'll skate it to center and dump it in deep. Wholesale changes for Moncton on the fly as we approach the 7-minute mark in the opening period. 1-1 your score. Sean Element opened the scoring for Cape Breton. Back at 3:17, Mathis Cloutier ties it up for the Wildcats. DeYoung inside his own line, chopping at it. Lookout. That one got up into the bench. And it had equipment manager Chris McDonald putting his arms over his face to ensure that that didn't make any contact with him. Dakota Lund-Cornish, the other goaltender for the Wildcats today, also making sure that it didn't make contact with him up high. Shots in the game are 3-2 so far in favor of Cape Breton. 1-1 game, though. Back deep in his own zone. Logan Kelly-Murphy can't clear it. Here is Connor Richard. Centers in front. Nice chance there for Hudson, and down is Grimard to make the save and hold on. Hudson didn't get all the composite on that shot, but he did get it on goal and forced Grimard to make a nice save. Grimard, of course, shared the crease last year with Kevin Mandalize, Ottawa Senators prospect. Both players at one point in the season were hurt at different points, and that led to some juggling of activities for the goaltenders for the Eagles. Here comes LaFrance. Now he's got room on the right side. Francis is with him. The pass in front. Nice block there by a sprawling Tristan DeYoung. Now it's centered again. That hopped over Baker's stick. Francis has it left side. Shovels into the corner on a cycle for Sean Element. Element had it chopped off his stick by Daou. Gabriel Bernier will get it out to center. Bernier now knifes it back into his own zone. Sheehan for the Wildcats waits and feeds to DeYoung. His pass goes off. Loshing down inside the Cape Breton line. LaRose around the net for Baker now. And back to Nathan LaRose. For Baker once again. Hard pass up the right wing. That's too far for LaFrance. It's going to go for icing against Cape Breton. Philip Daou, the only assist at the moment anyway on that goal by Cloutier. I think if they do check that out, they will likely add Gabriel Bernier to the scoring summary there as he deflected the initial shot and then also poked the rebound past the left leg of Grimard before Cloutier put it in. Now a high shot from Spence misses over the goal. Kept in at the left point by Nathan Casey. Here come the Eagles to center, though. Baker gives to Francis. He'll skate in on the right wing side. Stewart battling with him. Chip back to the line. LaRose lost the puck. Could be a break here. Dominic LeBlanc has Tomasini with him. LeBlanc looking to center, and that's blocked by Egardy-Aubin. And then Egardy-Aubin bowls over LeBlanc in the left wing corner. Francis waiting for teammates to change. Finds a man off the bench. That's Canning moving in. Had it knocked off his stick at the last second. Good play with a long reach by Charles-Antoine Pilote. At his own line with it, Zach Welsh will dump it down into the Moncton zone. Pavan mishandled that. Now Kidney is bumped off the puck. Pavan again lost it. Shot Canning right on. Gloved and held by Nicholas Sheehan. 11:11 to go here in the opening period. Candlesticks for the score as well. 1-1 Wildcats and Eagles. Sean Element at 3:17. Then Mathis Cloutier on a power play at 5:24. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center in Moncton. Third to last preseason game for the Wildcats here. Buteau, hard shot from the line, blocked away by Sheehan. And now Loshing carries to center. He's in on the right wing side. Drops it off. Francis Langlois nearly overskated the puck. Now he leaves it in the corner for Loshing. Centering in front. Backhanded in on goal by Pilote. He didn't get a lot on that. It's stopped by the paddle of the stick of Grimard, and he will smother. Little pushing and shoving at the end of the play as well with Jacob Stewart and Francois James Buteau. So a face-off coming to Grimard's right. Stewart on the ice now with Loshing and Langlois. The line's a little jumbled at the moment here for Dan Lacroix on the Wildcats bench, although in preseason action you'll often see all kinds of different line combinations. Eagles only have 11 forwards dressed today, so we'll likely see a number of different ones for them as well. Logan Kelly Murphy off the draw to center. Ahead for Fraser. He'll tip it down into the Moncton zone. Cole Fraser behind the net. Lost it there. Jacob Stewart for Pavan. Got it up the right wing. Langlois can't get it out. Now a sharp angle chance is tipped up high into the netting, as Connor Trenholm had it go off the defenseman Pilot's stick up and out. Going to mark the faceoff outside the line because it was, actually they're going to mark it over to the right of Sheehan now. Shots in the game now 5-4 in favor of Cape Breton. Jacob Hudson will take this faceoff for Moncton against Jacob Santerre. Hudson won that one cleanly. He sends a bump behind his own net. It did go ahead, though, to Connor Richard. Got it past Squires and just inside the Eagle line. Kelly Murphy is there, can't clear it. Richard down low looking for Hudson. He was open and missed the pass. Now he centers it in front. Richard digging for it. It's batted away from the front of the net. Hudson will hold it in for Moncton. Down into the corner, Richard. Skate to stick, back to the line. Spence, pass down low. Shot, scores! Beautiful feed from Jordan Spence to the back door off the left post. And it's Jacob Hudson who rifles it home. The Wildcats have a 2-1 lead. Spence had all the Eagles convinced that he was going to shoot, and instead put it just off the left wing side of that crease near the right post. And Hudson, anxiously awaiting, snaps it home just past the blocker side of Grimard. So Hudson gets the goal at 9:57. Should be Spence and Richard on the assists. Puck stolen inside the Eagles zone, but a penalty coming up to the Wildcats here as Philip Daou is going to go off for a trip. He is not a big fan of the call either, but he will head to the box. And now the Eagles will have their first power play of the afternoon, after giving up their first power play goal against when Mathis Cloutier scored for Moncton earlier in this period. 2-1 Wildcats. Daou for tripping at 10:14. That's the penalty. Eagles have it off the draw. LaFrance into the left wing corner. Francis back to Jarrett Baker. Baker for Francis, left half wall, right point. LaRose shooting, blocked in front by DeYoung, and that stung him. Got up around his face area, and DeYoung is down, and he is hurt. Graham Black, the Wildcats therapist, is going to come out of the defenseman end doorway of the Wildcats bench out to check DeYoung. DeYoung clutching at his lower body a little bit. He's up on one knee as the two teams go back to their benches at the moment. And DeYoung is on his feet. And he'll head slowly back to the Moncton bench. He is a tough customer, Tristan DeYoung, entering his third year with the Wildcats after signing as a free agent a couple of seasons ago. Wildcats penalty kill needs him to be healthy, and they'll rely on him for a lot of blocked shots this year. They're going to check him out in the Wildcats room. 1:45 left in the Daou penalty. Face-off to Sheehan's left is won by Cape Breton. Baker for LaRose, right side wall. LaRose down behind the goal line. That's Element looking for LaRose again. It's poked back to Baker at the line. Top of the left circle, Francis shooting, stopped by Sheehan. Rebound jammed in on goal, Sheehan down. And he's got it underneath him. Looked like LaFrance tried to stuff that one home, but Sheehan was wise to it. Eagles have not scored a power play goal yet in the preseason. They're 0 for 11, with this being their 12th opportunity. Wildcats penalty kill has allowed 3 power play goals against on 14 chances. That's a 78.6% efficiency so far in the preseason. Sean Stewart off the draw as he's falling forward, ripped it around on the left side, and it's cleared out by Dominic LeBlanc. LeBlanc, Hudson, the forward penalty killers for Moncton. Sean Stewart, Nick Pavan are the Wildcats' defense. LaRose has it again for the Eagles. Drops off for Francis. He'll carry to center. Swings over in front of the Moncton bench. Baker brings it across the line, but Francis had already gone inside. It's offside against the Eagles. 8:49 to go in the opening period. 1:04 left in the Daou penalty. 2-1 Moncton in front. Face-off in front of the Wildcats bench is sent all the way back into the Eagles zone. LaRose has it again. Nathan LaRose, former high pick of the Chicoutimi Saguenay, brings it in on the right wing. Dropped it off. It's tipped back to the line. Francis just holds it onside. Feeds the left point now. Baker for Francis inside the left circle. Francis slips into the corner with it. Now centered. Quick snapshot. Nice stop by Sheehan off of Sean Element. .37 seconds to go in the Daou penalty call. Another face-off coming to Sheehan's right. This time it'll be Liam Kidney for the Eagles against Gabriel Bernier. And Bernier won that for Moncton. Racing behind his own net with it is Palat. He's got Richard ahead on the left side, and Connor Richard will dump it in deep. Out of the goal, Grimard will reset for the Eagles with Logan Kelly-Murphy. Right side to Jacob Squires, and Squires dumps it in deep. Chasing after it, left corner is Kidney. Put it on the boards. Canning lost it. Comes to the line, not out. Play it over to the right point. Squires feeds it in front, chipped in on goal. Nice stop by Sheehan again. Palat will step in behind his own goal with it. Final seconds of the Eagle power play. Canning overskated the puck. Daou is out of the box. Tomasini sees him. Pass for him, though, was behind him. Richard sweeps that ahead. Now he'll shovel it in deep as he stood up by Emile Egardy-Aubin. Squires ahead to the line. Egardy-Aubin. Backhand feed looking for Kidney. That was too far. Back in his own zone, Iasenza. Ahead on the left side. Daou can't clear it. Iasenza will set up here for Jordan Spence. On the left side, Loshing can't grab the handle. Now it's Berube playing it behind his own net. And fed down inside the Eagle zone. Camp for Buteau. And now on the left side, the Eagles get it out. Long pass ahead went too far. Berube will turn. Reverses flow looking for Jacob Stewart. He can't clear it. Jordan Spence bumped in the corner. Buteau had it chopped away from him. 2-on-1. Loshing has Bernier with him right side. Loshing pass in front. Bernier couldn't handle it. Good play by Trenholm to get back and disrupt his man. Now Spence leaves right point. Winding and shooting. Bernier right on that. Stopped and now smothered by Grimard. Langlois off the draw. Pavan, wrist shot, blockered away by Grimard. Jacob Stewart will cycle that one in behind the net. Nathan Casey after it for Moncton. Squires got it past him, but there's Francis Langlois. Rattles it around to the left point. Pilat held it in. Behind the goal, Langlois bumped his man Squires down, and Squires is shaken up. Played side of the net, Jacob Stewart. To the line, one-timer. Pavan, he fanned on it. Nick Pavan up from the right point into the corner now. Casey had it get past him in behind the net. Langlois put it back of the goal. Casey is decked there. Cleared around on the near side. Unable to get control for Cape Breton is Santerre. Hudson wanted to leave for Palat. Now he feeds it cross ice. Comes out to center. Pavan will shoot it back in deep. Out in the left corner with it is Hudson. Jacob Hudson looks to the line. Sees the defenseman DeYoung. That shot is blocked. In the corner, Richard is hit hard, and a penalty coming up to Cape Breton here. Pass comes all the way back into the Moncton zone. Sheehan was heading off to the bench. He didn't want to touch it. Now we got a scrap started at center ice with Hudson and Logan Kelly Murphy. Hudson comes underneath with an uppercut. Kelly Murphy has his right arm free, misses with a haymaker. Hudson comes underneath, has Kelly Murphy staggering, and now both players fall to the ice. Logan Kelly Murphy was getting the initial penalty call for rattling Connor Richard into the right corner boards. Hudson, I don't think, liked the hit and went and told Logan Kelly Murphy that, and that prompted that exchange between those two. So we'll have to see how the penalties shake out. But pretty certain that Logan Kelly Murphy is going to get the initial 2 plus the 5 for fighting. And whether there's anything else on top of Hudson's fighting major, we'll have to wait and see. Referee Nick Melanson trying to explain things to the Eagles here. It looks like penalties may be even here. Penalty box doors are not open on either side, so we have a face-off right at the center ice dot with 5:13 to go in the opening period. 2-1. Wildcats in front. Goals by Mathis Cloutier and Jacob Hudson. Those came after Sean Element had opened the scoring early for the Eagles. Loshing lost it at center. Played down into the Moncton zone. Now Element is taken off of his feet. Back on his skates. Ian DeYoung battle for it. Comes side of the net. Down is Sheehan on all fours. And he will smother that. Now some pushing and shoving at the end of the play as Element threw a little bit of snow Sheehan's way. So Logan Kelly Murphy gets charging and fighting. Hudson gets instigating, fighting, and a 10-minute misconduct. So that's why, in terms of the players on the ice, the two teams are at even strength. Time of all those penalties, in case you're keeping track at home, 14:47. Face off to Sheehan's right, won by the Eagles. Shot is deflected off a leg, up and out of play. So they'll do it all over again to the right of Nicholas Sheehan. Jake Stewart will take it for Moncton. And the Wildcats control. Here comes Dominic LeBlanc to center. Tried to get around Buteau, and Buteau knocked him down. Welsh around the net. Up the left wing. Stolen by Jacob Stewart. Knocked out to center and now brought in Jordan Spence. Spence going wide right, shooting. That's deflected over the goal. LeBlanc was filling in at the left point but can't get to the puck. And now he resets with Sean Stewart. There is Spence ahead on the left wing. Jacob Stewart will dump a backhander in deep. 4 changes for Moncton out of the goal. Grimard spills that around on the left wing. Emile Egerty-Aubin for Liam Kidney. Got around his man on the left side. Centers it in front. Pad save Sheehan. Rebound Egerty-Aubin to the line. Squires shooting. That's deflected right on. Nice stop by Sheehan. Jeremy Berube now. Flips that one ahead to center ice. Grabbed and shot down into the Eagle zone. Right on goal. Grimard with a pass ahead. Tipped by Berube. It's going to be caught at the top of his crease by goaltender Nicholas Sheehan out of the air. So with 3:31 to go in the opening period, it remains 2-1 Moncton. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Wildcats trying to keep their perfect 3-0 preseason record intact, while the Eagles look for their first win of the exhibition schedule. Nathan Casey won the draw. Puck nearly stolen. Casey able to play it left side, and Richard will get it out. Squires has it back inside his own line. Ahead on the right side, Trenholm will bank that one down into the Moncton zone. Camp after it for the Eagles. Logan Camp cycled it and gave it away to Berube. Good anticipation there. Casey to center, right wing side, this is Langlois. Slip past Baker on the wall. Moving into the high slot with it, Nathan Casey tried to swing it back into the right circle. That was picked off, and big Cole Fraser will lumber his way to center ice. St. John area product, shovels back to the line, slap shot right on, stopped and held by Nicholas Sheehan. A good low, hard one-timer from Jarrett Baker. We have a face-off coming down in the Moncton zone. It'll be Philip Daou taking the draw against Emile Egardy-Aubin. Wildcats control. Gabriel Bernier to center will chip it down the right wing wall. Can't get around Zach Welsh to pick it up. Now he grabs it in the corner. Loshing tied up. Daou has it left wing corner now. Daou working it behind the net. Gets some help here from Bernier. To the left point, Nick Pavan winds and shoots. That one just missed the left post. Santerre on the backhand will get it out to center ice. Johan Loshing had to avoid his own teammate Bernier. Feeds Daou. He's across the line with it now. Philip Daou centering for Loshing, looking in front. Nobody there for Moncton. Welsh can't clear it though. Daou has it again. Philip Daou wrists it around his own goal. Santerre is there. He'll deflect that one past the defenseman DeYoung and out to center, and he knocked DeYoung down. DeYoung didn't like that too much. Now Egardy-Aubin brings it in for the Eagles. Looking to center it, finds Buteau in front, shooting off the post. Rebound and they score. Davis Cooper got the rebound after the initial hard shot by Buteau. Clanked off the left post behind Sheehan. And Cooper tucks it inside the net to tie this game at 2. Seen a couple of heavy shots so far in this opening period from the big young defenseman Francois James Buteau. That was another example of one there, and after it hit the post, Sheehan had trouble finding it. Cooper did not, though, and Cooper puts it home. Davis Cooper, a 7th-round pick in 2020 out of the Halifax McDonald's under-18 program. Play back in the Moncton zone again. 1:30 left here in the opening period. 2-2 game. Francis high slot shoots. Nice glove stop by Sheehan there. Shots in the game now 12-8 in favor of the Eagles. Jacob Stewart takes this face-off to Sheehan's right against Ryan Francis, the 4th-year center iceman. Francis won it, but had it stolen quickly. And Tomasini will carry it to center. Dumps it down into the right corner. Tyson Tomasini bumped off the puck by Baker. LaRose is there for the Eagles. Chipped it ahead, looking for Element. He can't clear it. Back to the line, faking the shot. Jordan Spence spins it in front. Grabbed now by the Eagles, and they get it out. Final minute of the opening period. Here is Nathan LaRose across the line. LaRose looking to center. Had it stolen by Richard. Richard brings it in across the blue line with a pass for LeBlanc, and that is offside. .18:15, the time of that goal for Cooper. That ties this game at 2. Richard brings it in left side. Couldn't get it deep. Squires, the former Rouyn-Noranda Husky, will lift that one out to center for the Eagles. Dominic LeBlanc dumps it down into the corner. Ends up behind the net. Grimard will clear it around left wing side, and it's deflected out to center ice. 25 seconds to go in the first period now. Olsen with a pass. That's deflected in deep by LeBlanc. LeBlanc and Buteau collide. This is LeBlanc centering Richard. Can't handle it. Darting out to center with it now is Canning. Canning rubbed out near the Moncton bench. DeYoung will turn and lift this one off the boards and down the ice. Racing after it is Squires. They will call icing with 4.1 seconds left here in the opening period. So we'll have one more draw at least here in an eventful opening frame. Saw the Eagles score first, the Wildcats score twice, and then Cape Breton tying things up here late in the period. Trenholm will take the draw for Cape Breton against LeBlanc. And LeBlanc won that one cleanly. Olsen will turn and keep this in the corner to run out the last couple of seconds. And period one will come to a close with a score 2-2 between the Wildcats and the Eagles. Mathis Cloutier on a power play, and Jacob Hudson, the goal scorers for the Wildcats. Sean Element and Davis Cooper, the goal scorers for the Eagles. Well, coming up in our first intermission, we're going to have my conversation with Moncton Wildcats veteran forward Jacob Stewart as we get his thoughts on training camp so far in a pandemic environment, his thoughts as well on the end of last season and the team that the Wildcats had but ultimately could not take into the postseason 1 year ago. And we'll talk about his role this year as well as one of the few veteran players, especially up front, for the Wildcats this year. All that and more with Jacob Stewart in just a few moments. Then we will come back. We will run through the scoring summary and set up period two. We'll also take a look around the queue on a busy Sunday afternoon in mid-September, getting ready for the start of the QMJHL regular season. There is plenty of other action today as well, and also an NHL Stanley Cup playoff game as well. All that and more coming up here in intermission number one. It's 2-2 Wildcats and Eagles. We are through 20 minutes here at Avenir Center in Moncton. You're watching live.
What do we do with those cranes is we take the exterior walls from the pit down there and we hook them on we have pins with nuts that we tighten, and we hook the cranes to it and we bring the wall through here, and then we can control it and we drop it on the floor, and then we nail it right there, and then we unhook it and we move on to the next wall. And we also use that crane, that exterior wall crane, to hook up our interior wall baskets to bring them on the floor so they can manipulate their walls and all that stuff. We have interior partitions like you see that I have on the table there. Some of them are heavy, so I just hook the crane on it and I transport it to my basket there to make sure it's secured. And sometimes if I have smaller walls, like 2-foot walls, I'll use my hand. But if I have bigger walls like this, I'm going to use the crane to make sure that I'm safe and all that stuff, because I don't want to get hurt.
And welcome to the intermission of today's game between the Moncton Wildcats and Cape Breton Eagles. Very pleased to be joined at this time by Moncton Wildcats veteran forward Jacob Stewart. Jake, welcome back to the team. Obviously, it was not the way that the team wanted last season to come to an end, certainly unavoidable. But let's talk about this training camp first of all. What has this camp been like in the pandemic environment for you?
This has been the first camp. It's been a different camp, obviously, from the couple ones we've had before that I've been at. It's been a lot shorter, but I mean, the competition we've had has been incredible. The young guys we have coming in, they're all very hungry for jobs, and they know there's a lot of jobs open, so they all came in ready, and it's been a very competitive camp so far.
What were you able to do over the summer to try and stay in shape and be ready? Because obviously you had to probably adjust whatever your regular workout routine was, right?
Yeah, the gyms were closed for a while, and we had restricted access to tracks and everything. So we had a good trainer. Josh Krause was helping out like Hudson, Sean, and I down home. But it was a lot more time working on skills for me, like in my driveway with the Green Biscuit, just doing different things than I would do in a normal off season. I think it paid off.
What kind of things did you do in the off season? What were your focuses?
I did focus a lot on my hands and my play with the puck, because I thought that was an area I needed to improve. Confidence with the puck, not just always dumping it in when I'm entering the zone, and carrying it and making plays, and just trying to be more confident and keeping more puck possession with my line.
Saw with the power play goal that you got against Charlottetown earlier in the preseason, a shot from the line that you're able to knock down in front and backhand home. Is that the kind of thing that you were focusing on?
Yeah, I always worked on that a lot. Net front, working on my hands, tips. I'm a big body, so being net front for me is it's a big asset for me, and I like to use that to try and put some in the back of the net.
So let's wind the clock back a little bit. Last season, Wildcats were in first place, looking good. You had clinched the division, getting ready to start the postseason, and 2 weeks before the playoffs begins, everything shuts down completely. What was going through your mind at that point?
It just happens so fast. You go from, obviously on that team, my role was lesser, but it was still a crazy experience to be a part of that team and all those good players. And you just go from being excited, you look forward, you look into the future of a Mem Cup, hopefully, and then all of a sudden, like the span of 3 days, I'm driving back to Antigonish, and I'm driving back to Moncton another day, then I'm driving back the next day back home again. It all happened so fast. People were talking about coronavirus as if it was some distant thing, and then all of a sudden it swept through our country and canceled pretty much every league instantly. So it happened fast, but we're fortunate that we're able to get back here. Not all sports are able to, so we just need to keep it going with it.
Yeah, and again, as we talked about off the top, obviously not the way you'd want the season to end last year, but certainly unavoidable. When you look back on the group that you had, what will you take from that group, do you think?
Oh, that was a special group for sure. A lot of those players should be all-stars in the NHL. It's something to tell your kids one day, I played with that guy, I played with that guy. There were so many of them, It was just really a good thing to be a part of. All the leadership we had, there was so many guys. You just go, they're all working out in the gym after. It was just, it was a really good learning experience for me, just to see guys who are at that level of hockey, how they perform, how they prepare for games, and then having, 10 of them. It's pretty special, and not too many teams are able to be able to acquire what we did last year. So it's good.
So now coming back this season as one of the graybeards, one of the elder statesmen, the veterans on this team, what has that transition been like for you? Because last year, as you mentioned, it was a different role, and there were a lot of other guys that had a lot more experience than you did. Now the script is kind of flipped for you.
Yeah, it is crazy. Going from being probably one of the I think it was the fifth youngest guy on the team last year to being now one of the oldest. It's been a quick turnaround, but on my teams growing up, I was always in a leadership role. So it kind of fell back into place for me. There were a lot of young guys, and I remember when I was their age, it wasn't that long ago, I remember looking up to guys like Pataki, seeing how they ran themselves and how they led. So, you take what you do. I know a lot of guys will be looking at me for leadership, so I'll just try not to make too many mistakes out there. Keep a good smile and a positive attitude, and hopefully have a good season.
We'll lead it into my final question here. What are you going to try to do to carve out a solid, secure role for yourself and be ready for the start of the season in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I was never really much of a skill guy for this league, so that's not something that I would. I can show that side, but I'm not going to. That's not something I'll be focused on. I want to be a nice shutdown forward for us. Play against teams' top lines. Hopefully, get a lot of PK minutes and. Just be a solid forward out there, reliable, and win a lot of faceoffs. So hopefully that's my role.
Jacob Stewart, thanks for this. Enjoy the rest of the preseason, and good luck when the regular season begins as well.
Thank you, Tim.
Or something very rough that they just sketched on a piece of paper. This is basically their dream home. But now they want to make it real. We'll get a black line drawn up for them, usually within a few days, doesn't take very long. That's where the process starts. And so there's a design center where they come in and they pick out their kitchens and their flooring and their shingles, you name it, top to bottoms, and then place the order and wait for the home. Where we're unique and where they seem really surprised is the fact that while their house is being built in a controlled indoor facility, where they're preparing the ground, putting in the foundation, getting ready for the arrival, booking the crane, all these things are happening simultaneously. So we're cutting the time to build down by more than half. Newfoundland is definitely unique when it comes to weather conditions and the engineering practices that support those. So Ken Holmes again is up on all of that, so that we will meet national codes, we'll meet weather codes that are specific to Newfoundland and Labrador. The geography of getting people on plant tours is a little challenging, obviously, coming from our province, but we've had a handful, but it's always a big deal. I think the plant tour is putting your money where your mouth is. We talk about all kinds of things when they're in our office. When and if they're able to actually come up and actually see the home being built on the production line, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where all that stuff that we talked about is immediately evident. As a matter of fact, we've had customers come up, but we've also had local, regulatory bodies have come up and toured the plant, have been equally impressed by what they saw. It's always great when you exceed customers' expectations. So they came to you expecting a 7 or 8 and you gave them a 10 or 11. people will come in and look around and go, wow, I had no idea. My name is Scott Mansfield. I'm a retailer in Ken Homes Network for Newfoundland and Labrador, and my company's called Homeworks. There's a lot of ocean view in Newfoundland and Labrador, so people are always looking for lots of windows, high ceilings, open concept. The beauty of it in a lot of ways is that we're able to do those things for them for a lot less than it would have cost to get a site builder in to do. Modular home, although it's not a new concept, it was as if we had invented some sort of new spaceship. People really weren't familiar at all with what it was we were doing. The advantages are many and affect every part of the process. The time frame is much, much shorter. Build quality is much better, and depending on the type of home that you're designing, the cost factor, you put all that together, it's almost a no-brainer. I really want them to know that there's really no limitation. I think that that's probably something that's on their mind when they first come in, is that I'm going to be somehow limited. I want to make sure that they understand that anything can be done. There's really nothing. Black line drawn up for them, usually within a few days, doesn't take very long. That's where the process starts. And so there's a design center where they come in and they pick out their kitchens and their flooring and their shingles, you name it, top to bottoms, and then place the order and wait for the home. Where we're unique and where they seem really surprised is the fact that while their house is being built in a controlled indoor facility where they're preparing the ground, putting in the foundation, getting ready for the arrival, booking the crane, all these things are happening simultaneously. So we're cutting the time to build down by more than half. Newfoundland is definitely unique when it comes to weather conditions and the engineering practices that support those. So Ken Homes again is up on all of that, so that we will meet national codes, we'll meet weather codes that are specific to Newfoundland and Labrador. The geography of getting people on plant tours is a little challenging, obviously, coming from our province, but we've had a handful, but it's always a big deal. I think the plant tour is putting your money where your mouth is. We talk about all kinds of things when they're in our office. When and if they're able to actually come up and actually see the home being built on the production line, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where all that stuff that we talked about is immediately evident. As a matter of fact, you know, we've had customers come up, but we've also had local, like, regulatory bodies have come up and toured the plant, have been equally impressed by what they saw. It's always great when you exceed customers' expectations. So they came to you expecting a 7 or 8 and you gave them a 10 or 11.
And welcome back to Avenir Center in Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, bringing you the first intermission of a 2-2 game between the Moncton Wildcats and the Cape Breton Eagles here in preseason action prior to the start of the 2020-2021 regular season. In just a few moments, we're going to take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at the scoring summary as we get set for period number 2. Eagles open the scoring in this game back just over the 3-minute mark. Sean Element sent in alone on a breakaway, deked to his backhand, and beat goaltender Nicholas Sheehan to make it a 1-0 Cape Breton lead. That was at 3:17 of the first period. Ryan Francis, the only assist on that goal. Eagles in front early. Just a couple minutes later, though, the Wildcats tied it on the power play. Mathis Cloutier able to bury the rebound of a shot from the line that was deflected in on goal. Grimard could not handle it. Cloutier able to get it inside the left post. Philip Daou, the only assist on that goal so far. That came at 5:24 of the first period. Wildcats were back on even terms at 1-1. Well, then Moncton took its first lead of the game just prior to the halfway mark of the period. Jacob Hudson parked off the left wing side of the crease, took a beautiful backdoor feed from Jordan Spence. Hudson buries it at 9:57 of the opening period. Spence and Richard the assists, and it was 2-1. And then late in the period, the Eagles tied things up. A shot from the slot by Francois James Bouteau went off the left post. Davis Cooper found the loose puck and tucked it home, his first of the preseason at 18:15, made it a 2-2 game. Shots in the first period were 13-8 in favor of the Eagles. Just before we head into the start of the second period, time to take a quick look around the queue. Other action today on the ice in the third period. St. John with a 5-3 lead over Halifax. That's in the third period. Starting the third, Shawinigan up 2-0 on the Quebec Remparts. It's 2-2 in the third between Baie-Comeau and Chicoutimi. Rimouski up 1-0 on Victoriaville in the second period. It's 2-0 Val-d'Or over Rouyn-Noranda after one. One game coming up later, that's Blainville-Boisbriand against Drummondville. And the Sherbrooke-Gatineau game had to be postponed today because the Phoenix were not going to have enough players to play as part of the COVID-19 protocol in the province of Quebec. They are not allowed to have recalled players in their lineup. And the Phoenix were not going to be able to ice a full lineup today. That actually affected the Wildcats today as well. As you may have heard in the first period, I mentioned the name Frankie Iasenza. He was supposed to play for the Wildcats today, but he was a late scratch because of that same situation. Not allowed to dress for the Wildcats today. That's why Jeremy Berube got into the lineup for Moncton here today. So the teams are back on the ice. They are at full and even strength to start the second period, and Wildcats will do so with a line of Philip Daou, Johan Loshing, and Gabriel Bernier up front. Sean Stewart and Jordan Spence on defense. Eagles counter with Francis, Element, and LaFrance. Baker and LaRose are the defense. Francis, long pass, right wing side, goes off of LaFrance into the zone. Behind the net, Sean Stewart. Shoveled it around right wing. Bernier into the middle. Daou couldn't get it out, though. Baker, right side. LaFrance shooting, and he whipped it over the goal. Comes back to the line. Baker held it in, but he was knocked down from behind by Daou. Philip Daou is going to go to the penalty box. It's a boarding call to Philip Daou, 27 seconds into the second period. Second power play of the afternoon for the Eagles. They are 0 for 1. Draw won by the Eagles. They barely keep it onside. Francis from the left point swung it in around the goal. LaFrance into the corner. Element had it hop over his stick. Now he got it away from Olsen. Element back to the right point for Baker. Into the corner, Element with it again. Left point, Nathan LaRose. Gives off to Francis, left hash marks. Francis into the circle. Element engaged nicely by Jake Stewart. Langlois can't clear the puck out, though. LaRose back to the line. This is Element. Over to the right point. Oh, Baker mishandled it. Eagles have to regroup at center. Ryan Francis comes back into his own zone with it, being watched closely here by Langlois. Francis will turn in behind his own goal as the Wildcats get some changes on the penalty kill going. Francis, left side for Element, ripped it in around the goal. The right point, LaRose. Pass for Francis, skipped past him into the corner. Olsen can't clear it out. This is LaRose again. Left point, Jarrett Baker winds and slaps, looking for a tip. That one missed the net, and it gets past Francis and all the way down the ice. Penalty is half over, more than that in fact, just 45 seconds left in the Philip Daou penalty call. LaRose carries through the middle to center ice. Wrists it down into the left wing corner, chopped away from the on-rushing Lucas Canning. Dominic LeBlanc battling for it on the boards with Egerty Aubin. Canning comes to the front of the net, drops it off right side. One-timer, Buteau right on. Good stop by Sheehan there. Boy, Buteau has loaded up some big-time boomers here this afternoon. Chopping at it is Richard. He got it to the line. Kidney kept it in. Now stolen 2-on-1 short-handed here. Richard has LeBlanc with him. Richard shooting right on, squeezing the pads together is William Grimard to hold on. Just 8 seconds now left in the penalty to Philip Daou. Logan Kelly Murphy is going to be allowed to leave the penalty box after serving his 7 minutes in penalties, which included his scrap with Jacob Hudson late in the first period. Hudson stays a little bit longer, of course. He's got a 10-minute misconduct on top of his instigator and fighting major. Face off to Grimard's left. Tomasini's going to take it. He goes forward with it. He's got it. Spins it in on goal. That one just missed. Ends up behind the net. Squires poke checked away by Tomasini. Squires now feeds it up the right wing side. Santerre gives to Buteau. Pass up the left wing goes off of Davis Cooper down into the Moncton zone. Rattled around the goal. Berube couldn't handle it. Now it's centered and Cooper scores. The centering feed from the right corner found Davis Cooper parked between the face-off circles. And he snapped that one toward the net low on Nicholas Sheehan. Cooper's second of the day gives the Eagles a 3-2 lead. Just on the inside edge of that right wing face-off circle. So Cooper's got his second of the day. It will not be a power play goal as the penalty to Philip Daou had expired. But it does put the Eagles back in front. Right off the end boards. Quick chance for Gabriel Bernier right on and a good stop by Grimard. Camp gets it down into the right wing corner. Now he and Palat collide. Here comes Loshing to center for Moncton. 13th overall pick taken off his feet by Fraser, and a penalty coming up to the Eagles here. .313 the time of this penalty. To Cole Fraser, it'll be a trip. And now the Wildcats will have a chance to tie this game. On the power play, they're 1 for 1 in the game. Mathis Cloutier scored Moncton's first goal of the day on the man advantage. 5.5 minutes into the opening period. Face-off will be to Grimard's right. Daou will take it for Moncton. He won it. Element pounces on it quickly, pokes it out. He's going to race away shorthanded. Sean Element in alone. Shoots, scores. Sean Element's second breakaway goal of the game. He went backhand along the ice in the first period. This time he raced in partially on his backhand, then switched to the forehand and beat Sheehan up high blocker side. It's a shorthanded goal for the Eagles, and they lead 4-2. That's a tough break for the Wildcats there. They had won the draw, but it was poked out to center ice by Element, and then he won the race to the puck and scored on the ensuing breakaway. Wildcats turn back at the Eagles line. Here comes Bernier with it. Swings it into the middle. This is Mathis Cloutier. Settles down near the right side of the goal line. Spence moves to the middle with it. Spence for Cloutier. One-timer that missed the net, and it'll skip to the line and out. Played in front of the Moncton bench off of Daou's skate. He'll knife it over to the right wing. Cloutier gains the line. Cloutier down to the right corner. Daou to the blue line. One-timer Spence. That's deflected wide. After this, Baker on the right side. Knocks down Spence, but Spence made the play into the corner. Centered in front. Loshing fires and scores! Johan Loshing takes the pass in the slot and rifles a wrister high blocker side on Grimard to get the Wildcats back to within one. It's a 4-3 game. Spence a little shaken up after taking that sprawling hit from Jarrett Baker at the line to keep the puck in, and Spence is going to go down the runway to the Moncton dressing room here. Big-time shot there by Loshing. Here comes Langlois with a shot. That deflects wide. It came back in front of the net. And the Eagles are able to clear it away. LaFrance now has Element ahead of the play. It's another breakaway. Sean Element in, scores. Sean Element with the hat trick on a trio of breakaways. He was ahead of the play, took a long pass in neutral ice just across the red line, and snaps a shot that goes underneath the glove hand of Nicholas Sheehan and inside the left post. Sheehan got a bit of it, but not enough. And just seconds after the Wildcats cut their deficit to 1, it's back to a 2-goal game again. It's 5-3. Try and bring you up to date on a scoring summary here when we have a moment. Puck is down in the Eagles zone, cleared out quickly by Grimard. This is going to go too far for Canning, and it's icing. Felix Lafrance gets the assist on that latest Element goal. What a pass by him from at least midway in his own zone, if not deeper than that, all the way across the red line to Element, who raced in alone. Now Pavan at the right point. Had the puck slip underneath the toe of his stick. 5-3 game. We're just past the 5-minute mark in the second period. Wildcats trail the Eagles here. Squires got it around on the right wing side, but it's not out. Cloutier gives to LeBlanc in the corner. His pass back to the line intercepted. Lucas Canning will clear it ahead. Canning after it in the right wing corner. He and Palat engage behind the goal. Digging it loose side of the net. Cooper centers it in front, but it's stolen. Wildcats do get it out. Cooper's got 2 for the Eagles. The other 3 all to Sean Element here this afternoon. This pass to center, tipped in deep by Cloutier. Grimard out of the goal, with both teams changing on the fly. Long pass ahead by the defenseman Welsh, gets down into the Moncton zone. There is Jeremy Berube. Gives to Jacob Stewart. Got some room on the left wing side. Now his pass in front is tipped. Grabbed quickly by Liam Kidney. Kidney to center. Lost the puck, and Jacob Stewart now plays it off of Kidney into the Cape Breton bench. So that was 4 goals between the two teams in a span of 1 minute and 53 seconds. All started with Davis Cooper's second of the game back at 2:46 of this second period. Then Sean Element shorthanded at 3:20, followed by Johan Losching on a Moncton power play at 4:14, and at 4:39, Sean Element's hat-trick goal makes it 5-3. Play in the Eagle zone now. Langlois for Tomasini. Pass in front. Unable to get a stick on that with Stewart. And it goes all the way down into the Moncton zone. Sheehan out of the net. Plays for Tristan DeYoung. Up the middle now. Jacob Stewart. Pass looking for Langlois. Went too far. Jarrett Baker harassed as he plays it back behind his own net. That got past Buteau. And Liam Kidney with control. Ahead on the left wing, Connor Trenholm entering his second year in the QMJHL. Rips it around the net. Jordan Spence, the LA Kings prospect, clears it high to center. Good to see Spence back on the ice after he was shaken up moments before that Moncton power play goal. Egerty Aubin looking for Santerre. That bounces in behind the net. Cleared around to the left point. Jarrett Baker rolls it around behind the net. Cole Fraser after it for the Eagles. Grabbed by DeYoung there. Puck is turned over. Losching gets it out. Fed it to Bernier on the right wing. It's tipped inside the line. Daou was offside. We have 12:31 to go here in period number 2. It's 5-3 Eagles. This game was tied at 2 after 1, each team with a pair. The Eagles with 3 goals here in the second period to the Wildcats 1 in period 2. But 5-3 your overall score at the moment. Sean Element with that hat trick so far. Gets it in on the left side. Sean Stewart turns away from LaFrance, the forechecker. Got it ahead on the right wing, and Bernier to center. Spence is in across the line with Loshing left side. Pass in front off of Daou's stick. He'll chase it in behind the net. Now pokes it into the left corner. His pass back to the line. Took a funny hop. Went to LaFrance, and he'll clear it. Sean Stewart. Ahead on the right wing, Philip Daou. Barrie, Ontario native, dumps it in behind the Eagles' net. Reversed there by LaRose, and now Baker. Long pass goes off LeBlanc's stick and up into the empty building here at Avenir Center. So a face-off coming. They're going to mark it right at the center ice dot. Don't forget, the Wildcats are right back here at Avenir Center next Saturday. That's September 19th for their final home game of the preseason. It's another 4 o'clock puck drop. We'll have it for you right here on the Wildcats YouTube channel beginning at 3:45 as this one dumped down the ice. No icing here. Picked up by Cloutier, left it on the boards, but now stolen. Logan Camp will pick it up. Trade acquisition from Baie-Comeau last year. Camp got it into the left wing corner. Tied up defensively by Palat. Casey for Cloutier, and now LeBlanc brings it in through the middle. Dominic LeBlanc's pass is deflected. Cooper unable to clear it out. Squires will flip it high to the line, and Palat backs off to regroup for the Wildcats. Quickly pass up the middle by DeYoung. Goes off a leg. Grabbing at it now is Connor Richard. Richard has an assist in this game. To the line, one-timer DeYoung tipped in on goal. Stopped. It's loose, and they score! The initial shot from the line by DeYoung was deflected in on goal. I think it was LeBlanc that got the tip. And Grimard thought he had it trapped, but he did not. Richard raced in behind the goaltender and bunted it into the open net. It's now a 5-4 game. Tough to tell exactly how that one squeaked past Grimard after the initial stop, but any puck that's deflected on the way to the net certainly makes it harder for the goaltender to handle. And that was the case there. So Richard has the goal for Moncton. LeBlanc and DeYoung do draw the assist. 5-4. Eagles on top at the moment. We're just shy of the halfway mark here in the second period. 9:05 the time of that Moncton Wildcats goal by Connor Richard. Played ahead on the left wing side. Loshing couldn't reach it. Buteau plays it in front of his own net. Welsh ahead on the left side. Fraser will tip that one down into the Moncton zone. Connor Olson in Moncton camp on a free agent tryout. Got it around the net. Cleared high to the line. Glove down by Fraser. Loshing unable to clear it. Now DeYoung ahead quickly. Loshing has some room on the left wing side. Johan Loshing shoots, and that one's tipped wide of the net. It'll carry him around near the right point and comes out to center. Sean Stewart. Pass up the right wing. That went too far for Bernier. No icing here. Baker back after it. Chopped it away from Bernier, the forechecker. Now Spence at the right point. Slides toward the middle. Winds and slaps. That's blocked in front. Daou with it again for Moncton. Threads it over to the left point. Sean Stewart for Spence. Fakes. Now he feeds it into the corner. Bernier on it now for the Wildcats. To the line, Spence. Left point, Sean Stewart. Wrist shot, tipped wide. Daou behind the goal. Good pressure by the Wildcats here. Back to the right point. This is Spence. Spence looking for a shooting lane. Spence slides down the wall. Now his pass to the line was out of the reach of Sean Stewart. And Daou will regroup with Stewart for the Wildcats. Quickly fed ahead on the left side. Loshing in across the line. He's taken down by LaRose. Play goes on. Santerre got it ahead to center. 2-on-1 now with Egarty-Aubin. Egarty-Aubin in front. Santerre couldn't handle that airborne pass. Emile Egarty-Aubin now has it knocked off his stick side of the net. Sheehan is down, and he's got the puck smothered. Good chance in the offensive zone there for the Eagles. But Sheehan holds the fort. Shots on goal here in the second period so far are 7-4 in favor of the Wildcats. The Eagles, though, have goals on 3 of their 4 shots, including a couple of Sean Element breakaways. Mathis Cloutier around the net. DeYoung for Nathan Casey. He will get it out. Followed up here by DeYoung. Tristan DeYoung into the right wing corner. Casey follows up. He's rattled into the glass hard by Logan Kelly-Murphy. Francis lost the puck. It's fed to the line. Shot by Olsen right on. Stopped and now smothered by goaltender Grimard. Casey came in at the last second to provide a bit of a screen. But Grimard was able to find the loose puck and hang on as some stick taps on the boards at the Moncton bench as Jacob Hudson is finally led out of the penalty box. We have 8:09 to go here in the second period. 5-4 game. Eagles in front of the Wildcats here at Avenir Center. Tim Roselle with you on the Wildcats YouTube channel here this afternoon. I want to say hi to the Wildcats' #1 fan, Brent DeBorn, who's watching back at home today. Puck knocked away at the Moncton line. Cloutier didn't see it. It hit his stick. Now it's cleared ahead by Berube. Kelly-Murphy back inside his own line. Gives off quickly ahead on the right wing. Squires got it up the boards, and now Cooper after it. Had it stolen from him by Jacob Stewart. Stewart over to the open right wing side. This is Casey. He's got room across the line. Trailer is Pilat shooting. That's tipped wide. Now it's swung in front of the net. And that goes off Kidney and wide of the net. Hudson out quickly for Moncton now. To the left point, Berube. Wrist shot. Deflected in front of the net. Never made it to the goal. Cleared high to the line. Gloved down by Berube. That's outside the line. Shot back in on a delay. The Wildcats do clear the zone. As it's sent to center by Lucas Canning. Kidney will dump it down into the Moncton zone. Then he was hit hard by Jacob Hudson and sent flying. Spence left wing side for Dominic LeBlanc. Drop to Hudson. Pass in front for Langlois was taken away. Kidney clears it ahead to Camp at center. It's past him and down into the Moncton zone. Sean Stewart chasing for the Wildcats. Thundered into the back wall by Fraser and knocked down. Puck was underneath of him briefly. Jacob Stewart for Dominic LeBlanc has Spence joining the rush. Jordan Spence in on the left side. Teammates are changing. Spence looking for help. His pass in front deflected into the feet of Trenholm. Spence spins it down into the corner. Buteau tried a backhand play to get it past Daou. Camp will clear it high on the glass and out to center ice. 6:15 to go in the second period now. 5-4, Eagles in front of the Wildcats. That puck tipped to center. It hit the linesman, Jack Fitzpatrick. Came back inside the line. Tomasini will poke it along the boards, trying to get away from the defenseman Welsh. Daou back of the goal. Richard looking to center. Connor Richard now curls into the right circle, looking backdoor, winding and fanning. Now shooting is Tomasini, and he missed high and wide. Boy, he had a wide open net. Grimard had really overcommitted to that Tomasini chance, and he had fanned on the initial try. Ends up behind the net. Buteau had it taken away from him by Daou. Into the right circle. Tomasini shoots. Tipped up high by Grimard, and then he'll snare it out of the air with a catching glove. An awkward yet effective offensive zone shift there for Daou, Richard, and Tomasini. Tyson Tomasini, mentioned him earlier, joined Wildcats camp a little bit late as a free agent tryout from Ontario. Spent last year with Pembroke and Nepean in the Central Canadian Hockey League. 39 points, including 12 goals in 58 games 1 year ago. A former 8th-round pick of the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, but never played in the OHL. Shot here, DeYoung is right on. Stopped and now lunging forward is Grimard, and he ends up on top of it. Jake Stewart and Ryan Francis have to be separated by the linesman here. Stewart will take this face-off, entering his 3rd full season with the Wildcats. Francis is thrown out, so Element will move in on the draw, and he won it with some help from LaRose. Played around the net, LaFrance. Long airmailed pass to center, looking for a streaking Francis. Broken up. Element from the left side of the red line will snap it into the right corner off the board. LaFrance, one-time effort. Blockered away there by Sheehan. Felix LaFrance with a good chance there for the Eagles. Now Baker left point. Right point for LaRose shooting. That's deflected up into the netting in behind Nicholas Sheehan. We have 5:02 to go here in period number 2. Face-off coming to Sheehan's left. It'll be LeBlanc taking this one for Moncton. And he won that one. Stolen, though. Santerre in front. That's chipped wide by Emile Egardy-Aubin. The left point, Kelly Murphy's shot. And that misses the net off of a stick. Played in behind the goal. Nick Pavan for Nathan Casey. Casey backhands up the right side. LeBlanc to center. Here is Mathis Cloutier with it. Acquired from Val-d'Or at the QMJHL draft. Got it in deep. It's played around the net. Fraser knocked his man down. Can't clear the puck, though. It came back to Dominic LeBlanc on the boards. Back at the line now. Palat for Pavan with room. Shooting, and he just missed the right post. Palat with it one more time. Winds and slaps. Deflected off a stick in front and missed the goal. Squires got it ahead on the left wing side. Egardy-Aubin can't clear it. Now Pavan knocks the man off of his feet. That was Santerre. It's played out and back inside the line. It's offside against Moncton. 4:07 to go here in the second period. Eagles have a hat trick from Sean Element, all 3 goals on breakaways. They also have 2 from Davis Cooper. Wildcat goal scorers Mathis Cloutier, Jacob Hudson, Johan Loshing, and Connor Richard. Canning at his own line, spins and swings it ahead quickly for Kidney on the right wing. Kidney, backhander, knifed away by Nicholas Sheehan. Cooper left it in the left wing corner for Kidney, trying to get away from Spence. Liam Kidney around the goal. Kidney now leaves it in that right wing corner for Davis Cooper. Cooper knocked off the puck by Hudson. Puck battle continues. It's fed around the goal. And Langlois will tee it up for Jordan Spence. Spence carries slowly to his own line. Now feeds Bernier on the right wing. Pass for Langlois was tipped behind him. Spence follows up, though. Jordan Spence weaves back to the line. Wrist shot in front. Stopped. Rebound. Bernier had an open net, and he couldn't sweep it toward the net. It hopped over his stick, and now it's off of his stick at the blue line, up and out of play. Gabriel Bernier can't believe it. Face-off coming now to the left of Grimard. 3:17 to go in the second period. Philip Daou will take this draw for Moncton. And it's controlled by the Eagles. Trenholm frees it up for Cole Fraser, the ex-Blainville-Boisbriand Armada. Worked it to the red line, then got knocked down by Daou. It's into the Moncton zone, but lifted up high into the netting in the left wing corner. So we will have a face-off, and they will mark it to Sheehan's right. Mentioned earlier, the Wildcats have that final preseason home game coming up next Saturday. That's September 19th, and then their final preseason game is on September 25th at TD Station in St. John. Draw won by the Eagles, but it got past LaRose down into the Cape Breton zone. Cleared ahead on the right wing. Logan Camp trying to settle it down, able to give off to LaRose here. LaRose moves in behind his own net, being pressured by Tomasini. Gave it to Baker, back for LaRose, mishandled it. Daou in front of the net. Having to deal with a bouncing puck, settles it left circle. Now chips into the right circle for Palat. Backhander, stopped. Another chance, down is Grimard. He looks behind him, but he's got it between his legs. Good chance there for Philip Daou at the end of that play. And Grimard sprawling out on his knees to his left was able to smother that and hang on. This game was 2-2 after one period. The Eagles scored 2 goals less than a minute apart, including a shorthanded marker early in the second period to take a 4-2 lead. Then on that same Moncton power play, the Wildcats got a goal to make it 4-3. Eagles came right back with another goal to make it 5-3 just 25 seconds later. Then the Wildcats, just shy of the halfway mark, got back to within a goal, and now we've got a penalty coming up for the Wildcats. Jacob Stewart for interference as he got all tangled up deep in the Eagles zone with Ryan Francis, and Stewart goes off. It'll be the third man advantage for Cape Breton in this game. They are 0 for 2 so far, and as I mentioned earlier, they do not have a power play goal yet in the preseason. Hudson takes the draw for Moncton against Element. Hudson won it cleanly. Snapped around the glass quickly by DeYoung, and out racing after it is Gabriel Bernier. One-on-one with LaRose. Bernier got inside. Backhand chance stopped by Grimard. Good move there by Bernier. He's been a bright light in training camp for Moncton so far. Baker now for the Eagles. Long pass right wing side. LaFrance brings it in across the line. Left side Element shooting. Deflected back of the goal by Sheehan. LaFrance now in a battle again, this time with DeYoung. Tristan DeYoung lost the puck. Francis recovers for the Eagles. Has some help with Element over along the left wing boards. Ends up behind the net. Whipped around the goal by Olsen, but not out. LaRose onto the wall. Francis. Cross ice. Baker had moved up. He'll keep it onside, though, for LaRose again. LaRose working it into the right circle. Looks back to Francis at the blue line. LaRose will head to the line himself. LaRose now, right corner LaFrance. Element is in front of the net. Pass goes to LaRose at the line. Now for Francis. Near the top of the left circle. Backs up toward the boards to the line. One-timer Baker shoots. It's deflected, and they score. Baker with a shot from the left point that changed direction and got inside the left post, beyond the glove hand of Nicholas Sheehan. It is a power play goal for the Eagles, and they now lead 6-4. Might be LaFrance that got the tip on that. We'll wait for the official. But the Eagles do get a power play goal, their first power play goal of the preseason, and they're back in front by 2. Puck is lifted to the Moncton line, cleared out to center, now bounced in deep as we enter the final minute here in period number 2. It is Felix LaFrance's goal. Baker will get an assist, and Francis will as well. Langlois, left side, Johan Loshing. He's got a goal in the period for Moncton. Played it around the net, Spence into the corner. Loshing unable to recover. Comes back to Spence at the right point. His shot goes off. Egerty O'Bannon behind the goal. Under 30 seconds left in the period. As this is bounced down inside the Moncton zone. Nick Pavan back after it for the Wildcats. Feeds it up the middle. Daou will turn. Philippe Daou brings it into the left wing. He's got a step. Cut to the net. He stepped on the puck and couldn't get a shot away. Now Sean Stewart left point. Right point. Spence winds and slaps. Kicked away by Grimard. Final seconds of the period. Backhand chance Daou, and that's off Grimard. Up and out of play with 0.4 seconds left here in the second period. Wildcats bidding for one late. And they will come up just short here. Dan Lacroix calls Nicholas Sheehan to the bench. So Hudson will come on as an extra attacker. Daou's going to go forward with it off the draw, but no time to get anything of substance for the Wildcats there. So the Eagles score 4 times in the second period. Wildcats get a pair in period 2. It's 6-4 Cape Breton through 40 minutes here at Avenir Center. Coming up in our second intermission, stay tuned. We're going to have my conversation with Moncton Wildcats rookie forward Connor Richard. He's got a goal and an assist so far here this afternoon. But we'll talk to Richard about his trade from his hometown team, essentially, the St. John Sea Dogs, to the Moncton Wildcats early on in training camp. We discuss his opportunity here with the Moncton Wildcats, what he feels like he brings to this team, and also talk about last season with Campbellton in the Maritime Hockey League, all that and more. Coming up with Connor Richard in just a few moments. Then we'll come back. We'll take another look around the queue and run through the summary and set up period 3 between the Wildcats and the Eagles here in preseason action. It's 6-4 Cape Breton through 40 minutes here at Avenir Center. You're watching live coverage of 2020 Moncton Wildcats Kent Holmes training camp action.
The advantages of having a saw in a manufacturing facility like this compared to a site build would be the elimination of mistakes, cut wrong. It's all programmed digitally, so it's pretty much you just push a button, it optimizes the wood, it brings it into the saw blade, cuts it whatever angle up to 180 degrees, and labels it. So it's pretty much when it comes out the other end, you just frame the wall according to the letters on the pieces of wood, and it's a lot faster than having somebody measure a piece of wood, holler down to somebody on a saw, have it cut, and then have it passed up to them. This way here it gets all cut at the same time, loaded into a cart, and can be built. You can build a wall in less than an hour.
And welcome to our intermission of this afternoon's game between the Moncton Wildcats and Cape Breton Eagles. Very pleased to be joined at this time by Moncton Wildcats rookie forward Connor Richard. Connor, congratulations on a strong camp so far. Your first camp with the Wildcats after a trade coming over from St. John just a few weeks ago. How's it been going for you so far?
It's pretty good. I'm really enjoying my time here. You know, the guys are great, organization's great, and I'm just loving the city.
What was your goal coming into camp? Obviously to make the team, but what kind of an impression were you trying to make on the coaching staff and management here?
I'm just trying to make an impression on everyone, you know, show them I'm a good player that can play both ends of the ice, and I'm a playmaker, goal scorer.
Tell me a bit about last season. You spent it with Campbellton under Coach Greg Leland there. Tell me about your time with the Tigers in the Maritime Hockey League.
That was a great time. I think it was good for me, you know, gain that extra boost of confidence playing with bigger guys, 20-year-olds, all the older guys, and it was just a great year, great teammates and all that.
Yeah, how do you think your game changed between maybe the start of last year and when the pause hit?
I think I got a lot stronger just on my feet and everything. You know, guys would come in and hit me, and I'd be a lot more sturdier and be able to just to play with them and just to make plays and all that at a higher pace.
Guys have told me before that they like playing in the Maritime Hockey League because it's an older league, a lot of 20-year-olds in there, and so you can really, if you feel like you can handle yourself physically in that league, you can probably transition fairly well to the Q. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think it is. You know, a lot of the Q guys go down to the Junior A in their 20-year, so you get used to playing against former Q players, and it helps a lot when you're a rookie.
37 points in 47 games for you last year. Describe Connor Richard's game.
I think I'm a sniper and a two-way forward. I play good in both ends of the ice, and I can also make plays in the offensive zone. I think I'm a good sniper and good two-way forward.
How do you think you fit in so far? You know this is a Wildcats team that's got to rebuild again after a lot of veteran players could not return to this club. So how do you think you fit in here?
I think I'm doing pretty good. You know, there's a lot of good guys here, a lot of good players, and all I just got to do is play my role, and I think everything should work out fine.
Did you expect to get a deal out of St. John? And, given the situation that they're in with a lot of players in your age group, might have been a little bit tougher to get some regular time there.
No, I wasn't really expecting one, but I wasn't complaining when I did. You know, Moncton's a great spot. They're rebuilding, so I thought it was a great opportunity for me to come here and play.
What's it like as a St. John area youngster growing up, probably watching the Sea Dogs to a certain extent, now having to put on the red, blue, and yellow of the Wildcats?
It's a little different, but I like it. You know, I always want to be a Sea Dog, but growing up, but then getting traded, get to play against Sea Dog, get to play in my hometown, it'll be pretty unique for me.
Okay, so there are just a few games left in the preseason before the regular season begins. Roster's not completely set, but what do you feel like you need to do over the next couple of weeks to solidify your spot and get yourself ready for the start of the regular season?
I think I just got to keep playing hard, getting to the net, and just keep getting stronger and being able to play with the bigger guys.
Connor Richard, thank you for your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
The thing that I love the most is the open concept. The view is amazing and it's really wide open.
The size of it, there's a huge loft upstairs, open concept looking down to the living room. The third bedroom upstairs is large. There's going to be 2 sets of bunk beds in it. The deck is over 500 square feet facing the water.
Imagine yourself having barbecues out here and having your morning coffee out here, or just lounging around with your family.
And where it's located, I mean, you're right next to the water, so of course you want the view.
The lot has access to the river. There's a community dock for the people that win this home.
3-bedroom, 2 bedrooms downstairs, and a nice big bunk room upstairs. I'm excited about that one.
A few kids, you know, mom and dad, and of course company coming over. You can accommodate everybody in this house.
It is a large home, a family home that can be passed down to their children and their grandchildren. Own it and keep it in the family.
I have my ticket now, and I can't wait for the draw to be done, because I know we're supporting 3 very good causes. So get your ticket now. I mean, I'm not going to lose it. I want to win it, so I'm getting my ticket. Might get more tickets.
Because you need to win this cottage. Yeah.
Obviously, you can't win if you don't buy a ticket. So it's a lottery. You got to buy a ticket or 2 or 3. Buy a package of 5. It saves money. That's my plan anyway.
It's where all the kids are going to hang out, you know, whether they're little kids or big kids, cousins. I see it. That's how, you know, that's how families roll. And I think it's going to be great for the family renting this cottage.
People do come in all the time with something that they've seen either online or on TV that they'd like to incorporate into their home. My name is Jay Richards. I'm located in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia, and I'm the owner of the Home Centre. Certainly the benefit of a manufactured home is it's quite easy for me to provide an accurate price on the home itself, a price that isn't going to change. In terms of construction, they're built in a controlled environment. All the materials are not out in the rain on a constant basis. There's checks throughout the entire process. They're designed to either meet or exceed all local and national code standards. They're all certainly backed up by a good warranty. Having a firm move-in date is very important. A lot of clients, they need to be out of perhaps their current home at a certain period of time. They need to be certain that they're going to be able to be in their new home. That's certainly the case. When we give you a date that we can commit to, we're able to deliver on it. In terms of flexibility and customizability, certainly there are kind of base plans to start off with, but we can modify and make design changes virtually in any regard that you might want. You may have a custom plan in mind that you can bring to us, and we'll be able to work with that. There's really no limit to the options. A lot of people enjoy the choosing of the colors, and designing their bathroom. Perhaps they've been online and seen a lot of different trends that they're wishing to incorporate into their own. Both the single section and the multi-section lines have come a long way. I'd say even over just the last couple of years, the materials have become much more modern. The roof lines are much more unique. We're certainly a long ways away from the
typical straight roof line or the long, narrow mini home perhaps. A lot of people off the top may be fearful of what their financial abilities are going to be. We work with all the different lenders in our area and we have experience with them, helping them achieve one of the largest dreams that they're going to have, one of the biggest financial investments that they're ever going to make in their life, and just having the confidence to know that we're going to be able to deliver all of their expectations and perhaps more.
Well, I built the window build-up and I put it here. We put the tape to protect that. That's the numbers of the number of the house and the number of the window. And then when it's done, I bring it to the holding area. So the person on the line goes there and he checks the numbers and he takes the card and he brings it into the house and install them. Well, I built the window build-up and I put it here. We put the tape to protect that. That's the numbers of the number of the house and the number of the window. And then when it's done, I bring it to the holding area. So the person on the line goes there and he checks the numbers and he takes the card and he brings it into the house and install them.
Welcome back to Avenir Center in Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, bringing you the second intermission of a 6-4 Cape Breton Eagles lead over the Moncton Wildcats. Through 40 minutes, we will run through the scoring summary for you in just a moment. Time to take a look around the queue as we get ready for the third period. Some finals in now from earlier today. St. John doubled up on Halifax 6-3. This is all QMJHL preseason action, of course. Shawinigan over Quebec 4-1. It was Baie-Comeau defeating Chicoutimi 4-3 in a shootout. In the third period, Rimouski leads Victoriaville 4-0. It's Val-d'Or over Rouyn-Noranda 4-0 at the end of 2. After one period, Drummondville up on Blainville-Boisbriand 3-0. And the Sherbrooke-Gatineau game today was postponed. There is one game in the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, and it is in the second period late as the Tampa Bay Lightning lead the New York Islanders 2-1. That's game 4 of that series, and Tampa with a 2-1 series lead in that one as well. That's the Eastern Conference Final. Well, here at Avenir Center this afternoon, 10 goals between the two teams so far as we get ready for the third period. Let's take a quick look at the summary. It began back 3:17 into the first with Sean Element's first of the preseason from Ryan Francis, giving the Eagles a 1-0 lead. That at 3:17. Wildcats tied it on a power play at 5:24. Mathis Cloutier's first from Daou, 1-1 game. Jacob Hudson gave Moncton a 2-1 lead at 9:57 of the first, with assists to Jordan Spence and Connor Richard, 2-1 Moncton. Eagles tied it up at 18:15. Davis Cooper's first from Buteau made it 2-2. That was your score after one period. Shots in the first were 13-8 in favor of Moncton. In the second period, the Eagles took a 3-2 lead, 2:46 into the second. Cooper's second goal of the game, second of the preseason, from Santerre and Buteau. 3-2 Eagles in front. Then just 40 seconds later, Sean Element, shorthanded, scores his second of the game, unassisted at 3:20. It was 4-2 Cape Breton. On that same Moncton power play, though, Johan Losching cut the Moncton deficit down to 4-3. His third goal of the preseason, a power play goal at 4:14 from Bernier and Spence. 4-3, Eagles still in front. They restored their 2-goal advantage just 25 seconds later. Element's third of the game, all three of them on breakaways. Third of the preseason as well from LaFrance. 5-3, Cape Breton in front. The Wildcats made it a 5-4 game at 9:05. Richard's third from LeBlanc and De Jong. But then at 18:53, Felix LaFrance makes it a 6-4 game, tipping home a power play goal, his first of the preseason, from Baker and Francis. And that's where we are to start period number 3. Dakota Lund Cornish has come on in relief now of Nicholas Sheehan for the third period. Lund Cornish, the 20-year-old, playing in just his second preseason game. He played 40 minutes in the 4-1 win in Sydney last week. Split last year between Baie-Comeau and Moncton, 29 games played, 15-12 record, a 280 goals against average, and an 897 save percentage. Grimard still in there for the Eagles. His backup today is the Eagles' first-round pick from the 2020 draft. That's Nicholas Ruccia. Play underway now, and it's in the Moncton zone. Francis decides to reset with Baker back at center. Play it ahead off a skate into the Moncton zone. Sean Stewart around the goal for Spence. Pass finds Daou. It went off of his stick. Loshing didn't see it. It was behind him. Spence at his own line for Tomasini. Had it stolen. LaFrance now getting some help from LaRose. He'll spin it to the blue line. LaFrance gives back to Nathan LaRose, and he'll start to center. Left wing pass to Francis. Got behind him. It's inside the Moncton line. Spence for Daou again. Daou brings it in on the left wing, centering in front. That's off Baker's stick, and then Grimard deflected that into the corner. Comes out to center, and Richard will regroup inside his own line. Connor Olson wanted to give to Richard. They got their signals crossed. Now Richard at center will dump it down into the Cape Breton zone. Squires plays it around the net, kept in at the line. Long shot to Young. Deflected off the back glass by Grimard. Richard for Jacob Hudson in the right wing corner. Hudson bangs to the line. This is Tristan DeYoung for Jacob Hudson. Wrist shot, stop, another chance. One-time slapper, and he put it wide. Olsen at the left point. Sidesteps Lucas Canning. Olsen into the corner. Cloutier centers in front. Good active stick by the goaltender Grimard to deflect that away from Richard. He was open in front of the net. Just shy of the 2-minute mark now in the third period. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Wildcats and Eagles in preseason action today. 6-4 Cape Breton in front. Jacob Squires around his own net. Kept in by Moncton now. Palat at the left point. His shot deflected and bounced just wide on the left side. Sharp angle chance to stop. Rebound side of the net. And that's ripped wide by Langlois. Grimard has lost his goal stick as a puck comes out to center. Grimard will chase it just to the left side of his own net. Wildcats bring the puck back to the blue line and dump it down into Eagle territory. Logan Kelly Murphy ahead for Logan Camp on the right wing, and he'll tip it out. Jacob Stewart bumped off the puck. Little 2-on-1 here maybe. Casey on the left wing shoots. Blocked by a sprawling Logan Kelly Murphy. Puck was underneath them for a moment. Now it's sent around the net. Daou after it on the right side. It comes to the line. Pavin plays that into the corner. Reversed by Squires. And now the Eagles get it out. Fraser's pass goes off of Camp down into the Moncton zone. Logan Camp pressed up against the boards by Palat. Gabriel Bernier with a pass up the middle. That was behind Nathan Casey and goes down the ice for an icing call. This QMJHL season will look a little bit different, of course, with all the COVID-19 precautions and protocol in place. It is a 60-game schedule this year around the QMJHL, with teams divided into divisions of 6. Of course, the Maritimes division was already intact, and the teams playing within their own division only. Brought ahead by Bernier. Dropped off for Palat. Had it knocked off his stick. Wildcats open the regular season on October 2nd here at Avenir Center against Charlottetown. As we get an offside call at the Moncton line. Good thing for the Wildcats, too, because Liam Kidney was nearly in alone. But the 6 teams in each division will play each other 12 times, 6 at home and 6 on the road. There will be no Maritime teams crossing over into the province of Quebec or vice versa. And Commissioner Gilles Courteau has said he will announce plans for the playoffs, but not until sometime in December. Play back underway in neutral ice now. LaFrance lost the puck near the Moncton line. Hudson for Spence. In front of the Moncton bench, Langlois is knocked down. Sean Stewart finds Hudson. He's in across the line. Hudson into the middle shot. Tomasini right on. Nice stop by Grimard. He had it between his legs. He wasn't sure where it was, but he's able to hold on. The Eagles will open their schedule at home on October 2nd as well against the Halifax Mooseheads. Draw one by Moncton. Quick shot. Sean Stewart taken in the chest and trapped against his body by goaltender Grimard. William Grimard, acquired at the draft a couple of years ago from the Rimouski Oceanic. He was back up the last couple of years to Kevin Mandalize. Puck is out at center, brought back inside the line now. Philip Daou couldn't find it in his skates. It's lifted high off the glass by Baker and out. And now Sean Stewart. Pass got off the skate of Daou. Comes back to Stewart. He'll rip it in around the back glass. Daou kicks it into the corner. Connor Richard behind the net. Took a high hit from Kidney. It's fed around far side. Spence will keep it in for Moncton. Spence, middle of the point. Foul for Sean Stewart. Long shot deflected wide. Daou holds it in again. Finds Stewart left point. Another shot gloved by Grimard for a whistle. So a face-off coming down in the Cape Breton zone. We're just shy of the 5-minute mark in the third period. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. 6-4 Eagles in front. Sean Element leading the way for Cape Breton with a hat trick. All 3 goals scored in breakaway fashion. Here come the Eagles to center. Logan Camp couldn't settle the puck. He might have had a 2-on-1 there. Instead, it's dumped in deep. Fraser on it now for the Eagles. To the line, Squires, wrist shot, deflected just wide by Camp. Fraser with it again, left corner. Got it down low, LaFrance, pass in front, went off the stick of Logan Camp. Here come the Wildcats. Langlois right side shooting, gloved ankle high by goaltender Grimard. So another face-off down in the Eagles zone. Wildcats outshot Cape Breton in the second period by a count of 19-7. And it's been all Wildcats on the shot clock so far here in the third. 6-0 in terms of shots so far. Dakota Lund Cornish not getting any action for him yet. Banked out to center ice. Pilote at his own line for Berube. Right wing pass. Daou fed back over to the left. It's shot in deep by Pilote. Daou on it for Moncton. Lost the puck. And it'll be Bouteau carrying to center ice. Like what I've seen so far from this young defenseman, Francois James Bouteau. Shot from a sharp angle. That's the first save of the afternoon for goaltender Dakota Lund Cornish on in relief for Moncton here. Pilote at center ice. His pass over to the right wing, deflected behind Daou. He stopped to get it near the Eagle bench. Now he does have control. Soft feed over to the left wing. LeBlanc across the line. Leaves it at the blue line for Pilote. Trying to get away from Santerre. Pass to the boards. DeYoung knocked the stick right out of Santerre's hands. Puck is bouncing to the line. Pilote doesn't know where it was. Element will carry it out. Sean Element driving into the right wing. Got a backhander away. Lund Cornish fought that one off. And now Tomasini can't find it in his skates. LeBlanc will. Got it to the line. It's not out. DeYoung plays it in front of the goal, and it'll be cleared to center by Charles-Antoine Pilote. Deflected down deep by Jacob Hudson. Here is Element with it. Sean Element, long-time Bécamo Drakkar. Long shot here from Francis is deflected wide. Here come the Wildcats sending 4 to center. Tomasini across the line. Knocked off his stick. Hudson will follow up. Sean Element a little slow to get up behind the play. He'll go to the bench. As Baker plays it around his own goal for Nathan LaRose, trying to get away from the forechecker Loshing. And now Baker quickly ahead on the left wing. It's deflected in deep by Emile Egardy-Aubin. Loshing at center for Richard. He'll dump it in deep. Baker takes Richard down. Jarrett Baker is going to get a tripping penalty here. .7:35 is the time of the call. Wildcats are a perfect 2 for 2 on the power play in this game. And if they keep that trend going, they will get back to within a goal here as we approach the midway mark in the third period. Daou will take this face off to Grimard's right. He's got Loshing and Bernier up front with him. Cloutier is manning the right point here as a forward playing defense. Jordan Spence, the only natural blue liner on right now. Puck goes all the way down the ice. Dakota Lund Cornish wanted to come out and play it, but it took its time getting down deep. Wildcats got away with that as Egardy-Aubin had backed off a bit. Daou up the middle for Loshing. Mishandled, so it goes to Bernier. Gabriel Bernier back to the line. Spence moves to the top of the umbrella. Now top of the left circle he goes. For Daou, middle of the point. Daou for Spence again. They'll switch sides one more time. Spence shoots. That deflected by Bernier wide. Cloutier to the right point. Spence. Back for Cloutier. Right circle. His shot missed the goal. Daou reaching for it. Can't keep it in. Now he's got to fight off Kidney. Daou will reset with Jordan Spence. Penalty has 1:05 left in it. As here comes Daou to center. Daou across the line, drops it off for Mathis Cloutier. Cloutier got knocked off of his feet. It'll be bounced out by Squires and down the ice. Jordan Spence back to get it with 45 seconds left in the man advantage. Rest of his teammates have changed. Spence will start the rush, and we'll see what happens from there. His pass through center deflected by Element. It got up deep and over the net, or over the glass rather, into the netting in behind William Grimard. And there's a discussion about where the faceoff should be marked here. They're going to mark it in neutral ice over on the penalty box side, just outside the Cape Breton blue line. 35 seconds left here in the man advantage. 11 minutes exactly to go third period. Still a 6-4 game, Eagles in front. Off the draw, it's quickly cleared down the ice by Nathan LaRose. DeYoung's pass for LeBlanc went too far. It goes down deep, no icing here. Hudson after it, stumbled, went sliding into the backboards. At the line, one-time chance, DeYoung right on. That's patted away by Grimard. On the right side, Tomasini from a sharp angle. That one deflected wide. LeBlanc has it stolen. It's a 2-on-1. Here comes Element right wing side. Element waiting, shooting, pad save, rebound. Oh, what a great stop by Dakota Lund Cornish off of Nathan LaRose. LaRose thought for sure that was in. But a terrific save by Lund Cornish there. Element was looking for that pad save and rebound opportunity with that shot to the right leg of Dakota Lund Cornish. He got it, but the goaltender denied the rebound too. Here comes Francis. Eagles are back at even strength. So the Wildcats do not connect on their third man advantage of the game here. They're 2 for 3 on the day. Olsen, right side for Langlois. He's across the line, bounces it in behind the net. Nathan Casey is there. Centering pass goes to the line. Pavan winds and fakes the wrister. Sidesteps his man. Now shoots, stopped. Puck went high in the air. It's batted down in the corner. Grabbed now by Fraser. He'll get it out. Diving ahead of Fraser there was Jacob Stewart to knock the puck loose. Now Fraser will one-time it. It's gloved by Lund Cornish. He'll be asked to drop it down to continue play, and he does. Eagles are changing on the fly. Settling in behind his own net, Connor Olson. Gives off to Daou. He'll carry through center. Daou on the left wing side, going wide around Squires. Dodged a heavy hit from Baker. Then got cross-checked down by Baker. Baker will poke it ahead. And here comes Cooper to center ice. Cooper in on the left wing side, going wide on Palat. Slides it in behind the net. It's played around the goal by Trenholm. Squires in front. Oh, and Trenholm was off the right post, but missed an easy tap in. Trenholm now cycles into the corner. Cooper is there. He's tied up. Santerre can't get it either. Squires now has it hop over his stick out to center. Loshing after him. But Squires got it to Santerre. Just over 8 minutes to go here, third period. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Eagles lead the Wildcats 6-4 in preseason action. Palat back inside his own line. Berube for Tomasini. Ahead to LeBlanc, right side. Shooting off the stick of Grimard and over the net. Back to the line. Sean Stewart off the bench. He'll fire right on. Gloved and held by William Grimard. Mentioned Connor Olson's name a couple of times. Former Erie Otter selection in the OHL. Played last year in Pickering in the Ontario Junior Hockey League. Wildcats really trying to tap that Ontario free agent market as they have done successfully for so long. Players most recently like Philip Daou and Tristan DeYoung gotten the chance to play here in Moncton as a result of their good work by the scouting staff. Comes back to the left point here. Sean Stewart has his shot go off a stick. It's played side of the net by Tomasini. Grabbed by the Eagles. They don't get it out though. Stewart spins that around the goal. Jacob Hudson couldn't get it. Now he does. Centers it in front. Backhand shot stopped by Grimard. Good chance there, Tomasini. Now Spence with a one-timer. That goes off element and wide. LaRose turning away from Tomasini on the forecheck. Comes back to Sean Stewart left point. He held it in. Hudson had it roll off the end of his stick. And he'll go to the bench. Changes for Moncton now with 7 minutes to go in the third period. Baker stands in behind his own net. As both teams finish off some changes here. Pass ahead finds Kidney. From the right side, tried to feed it to the left wing. The pass for Egerty Aubin sends him back to turn and regroup with Nathan LaRose. LaRose came over in that Alex Drover trade with St. John. Got it ahead on the right wing side and out to center ice. Bernier fed it over in front of the Eagle bench. Daou leaves it at center ice. Bernier will send it back across the ice, and Olsen has it. Connor Olsen for Tristan DeYoung. Right wing pass tipped inside the line by Bernier. Welsh will clear it to the line. That hit the linesman and stayed in. Wide open in front. Daou can't deke to his backhand. He had it poke checked away by Welsh. 3 Eagles to center. 4 with Welsh racing ahead, but a long shoot in is gloved down by Dakota Lund Cornish. It ended up between his pads. He'll hang on for a whistle there with 6:01 to go here in the third period. After all the scoring done in the first 2 periods, we haven't had a goal yet here in the third. 2 teams were tied at 2 after 1. And then 6 goals between them in the second period, 4 of them by Cape Breton. Wildcats win the draw. It's sent around near side. Casey got knocked down by Squires. Puck got past both of them and out to center ice. Now it's back into the Moncton zone again with Nick Pavan. Played it to Casey and back to Pavan again. Nick Pavan spent some time with the Wildcats last year as an injury call up on the blue line. Langlois in on the left wing. His shot blocked by Logan Kelly Murphy. Now Pavan, one-time slapper blocked. Langlois shoots and that doesn't get through either. Langlois from the right wing boards. Had it knocked off his stick. Kept onside briefly by Palat, but now Fraser to center. His shoot-in took a funny hop off a partition. Ended up down in front of the net and into the left corner. Nathan Casey sends a backhander to center. LaRose backs up inside his own line. Gives to Squires and back to LaRose. Weaves away from Mathis Kluche. Got through center. He's in across the line. Had it poke checked away from him. Kluche gives off. Hudson can't get past Baker with control. Cooper lost the puck to Palat near the Moncton line. Now it's fed ahead by Hudson. Tomasini shot right on. Chest save there by goaltender Grimard. Tomasini battling forward in the corner again. Baker feathers it over to the left side. That's Kidney to the line. Long shot. Steered wide by Grimard. Glassing out by the defenseman Baker. Trenholm in across the line. Had it chopped away from him, and Kluche has it for Moncton. Headmans to Hudson. He's across the line. Jacob Hudson into the slot. Tomasini right side. Spence fires. Great save by Grimard. And he's got it underneath him. Good chance off the rush there for the Wildcats. Jordan Spence had it teed up for him beautifully by Tomasini. And Grimard with the old pad stack style save denies Jordan Spence there. We have 4:18 to go, third period. Gotta wonder if Dan Lacroix may be thinking about an early hook here for Dakota Lund Cornish. Give the Wildcats a chance with an extra attacker early. Down by 2. Loshing at his own line. He's hit knee on knee with Ryan Francis, and Francis is going to get a penalty here. Loshing is up and appears to be all right. But Francis is going to go to the box, and Daou does not like Ryan Francis's work here, and Daou may be getting a penalty too. Francis is gone to the penalty box. Looks like Daou is going to be sent to the dressing room, and Francis may be joining him. So some discussion here among the officials about the penalties to call here. It was going to be, I believe, a kneeing penalty to Ryan Francis for that knee-on-knee collision with Johan Loshing, and then the chatter between both Francis and Daou drew some penalty calls as well, and it looks like Moncton will still be on the power play here. .59 the time of all these penalty calls. So, can the Wildcats get back to within 1 on this man advantage? They are 2 for 3 in the game, but the one power play they did not score on was their most recent one, which was earlier here in the third period. Eagles need somebody to go serve the penalty. It'll be Lucas Canning. So it looks like both Daou and Francis got 10-minute misconducts on top of the initial minor penalty to Ryan Francis. Face-off is to Grimard's right. Dakota Lund Cornish stays in the net for now. The Wildcats on a man advantage here. Puck comes around to center ice. Quick pass ahead. Loshing from the left side will dump it in deep. Grimard out of the net. He'll wrist it high himself to the line. Glove down by Spence. LeBlanc. Backdoor feed. Great chance by Kluche, and he missed the net. Clearing play. Baker. That deflects off a leg and drops down in the crease, and falling forward is Grimard to smother that. What a chance for Mathis Kluche off the right wing side of the crease. He had a wide open net, but couldn't get it to go. Another face-off to Grimard's right. 1:37 remaining on this Moncton power play. Spence shifts to the top of the umbrella. Gives to Kluche right side. Back to Spence. He'll switch spots with LeBlanc. Spence shoots, and that's tipped wide. Spence now left half boards. Moves back toward the blue line with it. Leaves for LeBlanc. Back to Spence again. Fakes right circle. Kluche knuckles that one in front. That's stopped. It's loose. And a chance there for Loshing is stopped and held by Grimard. 1:14 to go. In the man advantage here for Moncton. 3:14 left in the third period. Wildcats still down by 2. Spence off the draw. Shifts to the middle of the point again. Top of the right circle for Mathis Kluche. Back to Spence one more time. Left side, LeBlanc winds and fires. That missed the left post. Element with a chance to clear. Had his stick lifted and hooked, apparently, in the opinion of referee Brad Mills. And Mathis Kluche is going to get a hooking penalty here. So that will negate the final 59 seconds of the extra penalty to Ryan Francis. We'll play 4-on-4 for 59 seconds. And then the Eagles will have a power play of 101 into the final 2 minutes of regulation time. Stewart brings it in across the line. Crisscrossing with Tomasini. Shooting. That's off the mask of Grimard. Now Stewart after it again. Feeds Spence right point. Spence dodges Element. Passes into the slot. Backhander Stewart. That's tipped wide. Lund Cornish had started to inch out of the net, but he'll back up now as Element carries to center ice. 25 seconds left in the 4-on-4. LaRose leaves for LaFrance here. Felix LaFrance, short side pass in front. Only man there is Stewart. Right wing feed. Couldn't clear it out. It's centered in front now. LaRose, little toe drag, couldn't get around Stewart completely. It's poked to the line, and it will get out. Tomasini after it. He's going to try and break in, but LaFrance came back to cut him off. Penalty to Francis is over. Canning was serving it. He's out of the box. Eagles on the power play for the 4th time in the game with under 2 minutes left here in the third period. 50 seconds left in this abbreviated man advantage. 1:45 left on the clock. Kidney brings it inside the line. Lost it. Bernier will clear it high off the glass and out. Now Squires quickly ahead for Canning on the right wing. Kidney poking at it to get it in front. Egredy-Aubin can't get a stick on it. Flip to the line. That hit the backside of Kidney and stays in. Egredy-Aubin for Squires. Wrist shot gloved by Dakota Lund Cornish. He will hang on with 21 seconds left in the man advantage and 1:19 left here in the third period of a 6-4 Cape Breton Eagles lead. Tim Roselle with you live at Avenir Center. Stay with us after this one. We will come back and take one last look at the scoring summary and go around the queue again as well. Face off to the left of Dakota Lund Cornish. It's won by the Eagles. Squires right point. Cross ice. Kelly Murphy's pass in front, deflects wide. Trenholm on the wall. Chips it down into the corner. Final seconds now of this penalty to Kluche. He's standing in the box. Squires keeps it in at the line. Cooper right corner. His pass goes astray, and LeBlanc now has Kluche out of the penalty box. Spence will pick up the puck and bring it in across the line. Look, Dakota Lund Cornish is on the bench for an extra attacker. It's stolen, though, and shot down the ice into the empty net by Connor Trenholm. Wildcats did not even have a chance to get into the offensive zone and get set up. Trenholm with a steal, and then he fires it down the ice, along the ice, into the open net. For an empty net goal to make it a 7-4 game. (19:14) will be the time of the goal. Here comes Fraser with a late chance. Fraser backhand shot stopped by Dakota Lund Cornish. It's listed as unassisted as this is floated high to center. Batted down out of the air by Tomasini. It's actually going to be called a hand pass by the Eagles here with 28.5 seconds to go. So the Wildcats will suffer their first loss of the preseason. And the Eagles will get their first victory of the exhibition schedule. Off the draw, it's shoveled down deep into the Moncton zone by Canning. Berube around the goal. Tomasini reaching for it. Second effort, can't get it out. His third try, he will lift it high to center ice. There's 15 seconds left now as Jacob Santerre, 2019 draft pick of the Eagles, goes cross ice. It'll be dumped in by Zach Welsh. And this game will come to a close here with the Eagles victorious, outlasting the Wildcats here this afternoon by a final score of 7-4. Stay with us. We'll come back in just a moment. The final look at the scoring summary will also go around the cue one last time. It is a 7-4 final. The Eagles have defeated the Wildcats here in preseason action at Avenir Center. You're watching live coverage of 2020 Moncton Wildcats training camp action.
Final game in our preseason will be at home here at the Avenir Center next Saturday. The time will be 4 p.m. as the Raptors Teton will be in town. Le prochain match dans les séries pré-saison pour les Wildcats. Le dernier match à domicile avant la saison régulière. Samedi prochain, à compter de 16h. Donc les Wildcats reçoivent la visite.
We installed the window. Before we put it on, we put silicone on the two sides and the top, and we nailed the window on it. And this part here, it's like a flashing. When the water runs down, it won't catch behind the window. And we do the top part the last. We put a piece of tape on top. It makes like a gutter. So it seals that part all the way across the window, so there's no water go behind the window. If it goes behind the window, your sheeting's gonna get all wet and it's gonna get mold probably in the future. So this way it's supposed to stay dry, so the house will last longer. Installed the window. Before we put it on, we put silicone on the two sides and the top, and we nailed the window on it. And this part here, it's like a flashing. When the water runs down, it won't catch behind the window. And we do the top part the last. We put a piece of tape on top. It makes like a gutter, so it seals that part all the way across the window, so there's no water go behind the window. If it goes behind the window, your sheeting's gonna get all wet and it's gonna get mold probably in the future. So this way it's supposed to stay dry, so the house will last longer.
Welcome back to Avenir Center in Moncton. Tim Roselle with you, wrapping up a 7-4 Cape Breton Eagles preseason victory over the Moncton Wildcats here this afternoon. Big 4-goal second period turned the game in the Eagles' favor, and led by one of their veteran players, Sean Element, with a hat trick here this afternoon. The Eagles outlast the Wildcats. Eagles get their first victory of the preseason. Wildcats suffer their first loss with a couple of games to go in the exhibition schedule. We'll come back in just a moment and take one last look at the scoring summary. Time to go around the cue one more time, though, as we wrap up our coverage here this afternoon. There are some finals on a busy day in QMJHL preseason action. St. John doubled up Halifax 6-3. It was Shawinigan over Quebec 4-1. Baie-Comeau got by Chicoutimi 4-3 in a shootout. Rimouski shut out Victoriaville 4-0. Val-d'Or all over Rouyn-Noranda 9-1. And in the second period, it's Drummondville leading Blainville-Boisbriand 3-1. There was one other game scheduled for today. That was Sherbrooke and Gatineau. That game was postponed. Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Final In the National Hockey League this afternoon, it's in the third period. Tampa Bay with a 3-1 lead on the New York Islanders. That with about 15 minutes to go. The Lightning lead that best-of-7 series 2-1. So they would take a 3-1 series lead if they're able to hang on and defeat the Islanders in that one this afternoon. Well, here at Avenir Center today, the Moncton Wildcats lost their first game of the preseason after 3 consecutive wins to open the exhibition schedule. Final score 7-4 in favor of the Cape Breton Eagles. Let's take a look at the scoring summaries. We continue to wrap this one up. Go all the way back to the early stages of period number 1. Sean Elliman opens the scoring on a breakaway, sent it alone by Ryan Francis. Elliman's first of the preseason at 3:17 of the first period made it 1-0 in favor of Cape Breton. Wildcats tied it on a power play a couple of minutes later when Mathis Cloutier buried his first of the preseason from Philippe Daou. That at 5:24 of the first period, it was a 1-1 game. Well, then midway through the first period, the Wildcats took their first lead of the hockey game. Jacob Hudson gets his first of the preseason from Jordan Spence and Connor Richard. 9:57 the time of that goal. 2-1, Moncton in front. It stayed 2-1 into the final 2 minutes of the opening period. Then Davis Cooper scored for the Eagles, his first of the exhibition schedule, to make it a 2-2 game. That was at 18:15 of the first period. And it was Francois James Bouteau drawing the only assist on that goal. 2-2 game after one period. Shots in the first were 13-8 in favor of Cape Breton. Into the second period we go. This is really where the game changed and went in favor of the Eagles. Cooper scored his second goal of the afternoon to give Cape Breton the lead again at 3-2. It was at 2:46 of the second period. Santerre and Bouteau the assists. 3-2 Eagles in front. Less than a minute later, Sean Elliman sent in on a shorthanded breakaway, scores his second of the preseason, second of the game as well. That was at 3:20. And it made it a 4-2 game. Eagles up by a pair for the first time on the day. Wildcats, though, on that same man advantage, cut their deficit back to 1 when Johan Losching scored his third goal of the preseason. Bernier and Spence the assists. That was at 4:14, and it made it a 4-3 game. But just 25 seconds later, Sean Elliman completed his breakaway hat trick with another goal in alone. 3 goals on the day, 3 in the preseason for him as well. Felix Lafrance, the only assist at 4:39. That made it a 5-3 game. Wildcats got back to within 1 again near the halfway mark of the second period. Connor Richard's third from LeBlanc and de Jong at 9:05 made it a 5-4 game. But then late in the second period, Felix Lafrance on a power play put the Eagles back in front by 2 at 6-4. 18:53 the time of that man advantage marker. Baker and Francis the assists. That made it 6-4. Eagles were outshot 19-7 by the Wildcats in the second period, but Cape Breton with that 6-4 lead through 40 minutes. And the only goal of the third period went into an empty net. Connor Trenholm with 45.6 seconds to go, so call the time 19:14. Trenholm's first of the preseason. 7-4 your final score here today. Another 19 shots in the third period for the Wildcats. They outshot the Eagles 19-10 in the third and 46-30 overall. But it's the Eagles that get a 7-4 victory here in this one this afternoon. 42 saves by William Grimard, making his preseason debut for the Eagles here this afternoon. Well, our next broadcast here on Wildcats preseason action on their YouTube page comes to you on Saturday. That is September 19th. The Wildcats' final home game of the preseason here against the Acadie Bathurst Titans. Game time is 4 o'clock Atlantic. We are on the air on YouTube with the pregame show beginning at 3:45. And make sure you tune in for that one. Again, the final preseason home game for the Wildcats with the Tetons coming to town to take on Moncton. Should be a good matchup between a Moncton Wildcats team that is rebuilding and an Acadie Bathurst team that is rebuilding as well and that has been rebuilding for the last couple of years. They are hoping to take the next step in their evolution following their Memorial Cup win back in 2018. But it's been a long couple of seasons up in northern New Brunswick for the Teton. They've got some young players. They've got a young core that they've put together there over the last couple of years that they're hoping to lean on and bring them into that next step in their process of icing a very impressive hockey club once again. It is the Wildcats and the Teton live at Avenir Center Saturday, September 19th. Game time is 4 o'clock Atlantic, and we will have it for you right here on the Wildcats YouTube channel at 3:45. For Cameron Penny and Brian Fisher, our producers of today's broadcast, this is Tim Roselle saying good evening from Avenir Center in Moncton, where today your final score, the Cape Breton Eagles 7 and the Moncton Wildcats 4.